and I crush everyone that steps to me. I stomp on them. I flatten them. They're scared to even talk to me. There's a trail of bodies behind me. Bring on your heroes, bro. Watch me crush them. Bring your heroes here to die.
Alright. What's up, Hexicans and my people in the digital and crypto space? My name is Karim, investor, and I want to talk to you about how I find the most innovative crypto out in the world. It's called Hex. And here's my story. Listen closely. On the track. So first, there was Bitcoin, the OG in the game, the whole reason I even thought to get in the lane. So let me explain. Content creator Javon James spoke of a crypto that made mad gains, but it was and I got wrecked, but I still had the pulse, had to get it back. My first Ponzi experience, and that's a fact. It was unaudited code everywhere. Cease and desist letters had everyone scared. But it's decentralized, right? Psych. All of these projects are 99% hype. So then I dollar cost averaged it to ETH. It wasn't complete, but I just said I gotta eat. It was a slow progress, but guess what's next? Richard Hart's completed project. It's called Hex.
So why would I take huge counterparty risk to make 7 measly percent when thousands of percent are possible? Why would I do that? Crypto is designed to get rid of counterparties, not add them. And all of those loan your coins out for money things, the vast majority of them, takes your keys from you and makes the world a less secure place so that you can make 6 or 7%.
We're the Hexicans coming for your neck again. This cryptocurrency space ain't ready for us yet again. We're the Hexicans. Yeah, I'm a Hexican. Now, we're the Hexicans coming for your neck again. This cryptocurrency space ain't ready for us yet again. We're the Hexicans. Yeah, I'm a Hexican. So I'm like, bet, how can I invest? He said if you got MetaMask, brother, you set. Now don't forget to write your seed words down. Not your keys, not your crypto, bet. So I set, Richard is a vet. Retired at 23, traveling in jets. He writes self-help books, especially his new book. In 2019, Richard Hart was that guy. More famous words, bring your heroes here to die. Now I'm a Hexican, all of us are best of friends. All around the world, and none of us are next to kin. You stick your Hex and you receive shares. Hex.com explains it, it's all quite clear. And everything is done without expectation. Bitcoin is spaghetti code, Hex is amazing.
Bitcoin stores value, the number goes up, everyone's happy. Ethereum stores value, the number goes up, everyone's happy. Hex stores value more securely than Bitcoin. With audited software, Bitcoin's not audited. An economics audit, Bitcoin doesn't have an economics audit. Isolated consensus code so that it can't accidentally get screwed up in a network upgrade.
We're the Hexicans coming for your neck again. This cryptocurrency space ain't ready for us yet again. We're the Hexicans. Yeah, I'm a Hexican. Now, we're the Hexicans coming for your neck again. This cryptocurrency space ain't ready for us yet again. We're the Hexicans. Yeah, I'm a Hexican. Now, to Hex haters, hi haters, we got Marines on the team and they ball breakers. Hex cut out the middleman, that's the original plan. So you never get scammed, you mint your own coins. Now I'm on my drill shit, fuck Peter McCormick. I'll disrespect them in these streets, maybe with a loaded clip. And coin market cap is whack. See, Hex is the top 10 crypto, so where we at? Now I'm just having fun, basking in the setting sun. But please don't play with Hex again, or I'm gonna have to get the gun. We've already done the 350X. Sorry plebs, but we ain't even start to flex. When we hit the trillions, we'll change like chameleons. Trustless interest, oh what a feeling. We in the building, and Hex gonna make a killing. Yeah. So shout out to the creator and founder Richard Hart. That took hours to teach us individuals who really want to learn and understand cryptocurrency. It took this many years to research and create the project that we know now as a product called Hex. Shout out to content creators like Hexologists, Discourse, Syndicate, RG3s, Cutthroats, and many more. Yeah, like Kyle, Firebun, Steph with the Stake app, to find and track your Hex. Special shout out to Ski Cat, Artie Intel, and Freddie Quotes. Remember, crypto is the highest appreciating asset known to man. So let's stop trying to be right and get it right. Remember, do your own research and never invest more than you will to lose.
Only use case that has had any adoption option whatsoever in cryptocurrency. Is speculation, store value. That's it, period. For speculation, what's the only thing you care about? Price up. Okay. If you're a store value guy, what do you care about? Price up. Okay. Well, what makes price go up? People buying more than they sell. Anything else? Nope. Hold on a second. Wait a second. You're telling me that the most important thing in crypto is the price goes up, and that the only way the price goes up is if people buy more than they sell. Yep. That's what I'm telling you. Well, isn't it interesting that Hex was designed specifically to address exactly those two things? Yeah. Hex Monetizes is the only thing that actually matters, which is people buying and not selling. And it monetizes the time value of money the same way that they do it in the real world. It just blows my mind that we have CDs in the real world, but we don't have them on the blockchain. So I put them on the blockchain. And people are just like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. And the share price has gone up over 500x. That's a big deal. People that people that truly understand Hex and get it, it's all about the shares. The shares are more rare than the Hex.
Hex, Bitcoin, Ethereum should be on your watch list for the next 5 years. And with that being said, let's talk about the highest appreciating asset class today. It's crypto, not stocks and bonds. Boy, this ain't for play. My word plays to educate the children around my way, so they can get out the hood. No, I don't wanna stay. Education's critical in my life, pivotal. Could've been in jail or dead. Yeah, it's just that simple. But back to investing. Here, take some notes. Never go all in like jumping off a boat. Dollar cost averaging. Google that term, so you can keep your shirt on, so you don't get burned. Now there's a risk to all investments. This you should know. You can take yearly profits and get ready to blow. In 5 years, 10 years, 15 years you hold. You can live off the interest. That's the part that gets sold. You'll reinvest your capital, or the principal in this case. I'm feeding your brain cells. What a terrible thing to read. I said the Hexicans are loyal with the game. You disrespect our clique, bang. Haters keep talking. You learn. This about assets and interest, economical slang. I said the Hexicans are loyal with the gang. You disrespect our clique, bang. Haters keep talking. You learn. This about assets and interest, economical slang. Now remember that Bitcoin was a penny a share. Well, Hex is now the same price that has made millionaires. This ain't financial advice, so let's be clear. But Hex did go up when the market was there. Now Hex is like a CD, you get paid per shares. You can swap your value through Uniswap, use a Hex each pair. Don't forget to pay your taxes, cause it's only fair. They got Wire, Coinbase, Cash App, oh yeah. I said the Hexicans are loyal with the gang. You disrespect our clique, bang. Haters keep talking. You learn. This about assets and interest, economical slang. Now it's time to shout out some of the people within Hex. Others helped me in my crypto journey, so I didn't get wrecked. So I'll start from the top. Okay, let me see. There's Richard Hart, Hexologist, Big Pepper, RG3. Got Hodl Dog, Dev Kyle, Crypto Coffee, Silver and Maddie, can't forget the cat that ski. Dollar cost average, Kinetics and Motley. Freddie Quotes, Fire Bun, Steph and Gary. Got Yash Deep, Dave Feeder, Karim and Hexcom, Joe Hexotic, Hex Lion. Man, this is getting long. Let's shout out to Craig Grant and yes, Trayvon James. We're all content creators and should all be treated the same. I say that to say this, we're in this crypto matrix. It's us against them and we're about to go ape shit. We're the Hexican Space Force and we're blasting off this year. So Hexicans unite, cause we savages out here. I said the Hexicans are loyal with the gang. You disrespect our clique, bang. Haters keep talking. You learn. This about assets and interest, economical slang. I said the Hexicans are loyal with the gang. You disrespect our clique, bang. Haters keep talking. This about assets and interest, economical slang. It's gonna be a hot summer this year. Can you feel it? I can feel it. Listen, united we stand, divided we can conquer. Listen, crypto was meant to be trustless, no middlemen, no counterparty risk. Verifiable via the blockchain. Listen, let's stop hating, let's start communicating. Ain't that many of us? Remember, we early, right? That's right. We early, we gotta stick together, man. So, man, shout out to the big team. Shout out to the big God on the track. There's nothing more to say, man. Become a Hexican. If not, you with the rest of them. So we out.
There's so many scams, I have to change my username. Don't ever send me money. Imposters everywhere. Richard Hart, bracket. Don't ever send me money. Imposters everywhere, bracket. That's fucked up, right? And I'm out there actually making an effort trying to stop the fucking scams. And everyone else is like, oh, fucking that Richard, yeah, he's a scammer.
Call it a scam, nobody really cares. We can tell you the only one that ain't prepared. Oh yes, I'ma be a millionaire. 5, a couple trillion shares. Oh no, I ain't getting wrecked again. Richard Hart, he got us set to win. We're a family, we all the best of friends. We ain't a cult, man, just call us Hexicans. ICOs, pump and dumps, they always try to take you. Buy low, sell high, I'm tired of your fake news. You need a token, you broken, you wanna see some massive gains? Lambo, new crib, model wife, cash and chains. Look no further at your final destination. Don't be complacent every day when you paper chasing. Choose the best, leave the rest, stop investing like you press. The only crypto that you'll ever need is Hex. Call it a scam, nobody really cares. We can tell you the only one that ain't prepared. Oh yes, I'ma be a millionaire. 5, a couple trillion shares. Oh no, I ain't getting wrecked again. Richard Hart, he got us set to win. We're a family, we all the best of friends. We ain't a cult, man, just call us Hexicans. Your investments are safe, it's got defenses. A mutable contract that pays trustless interest. I don't understand why everybody is hating. Hex is capped at 3.69 inflation. Shares are like hash rate. The higher you take her, the more daily interest that gets paid to the stakers. Always do your own research, don't listen to me though. It's complete, it can't be changed. Hex is finito. Call it a scam, nobody really cares. We can tell you the only one that ain't prepared. Oh yes, I'ma be a millionaire. 5, a couple trillion shares. Oh no, I ain't getting wrecked again. Richard Hart, he got us set to win. We're a family, we all the best of friends. We ain't a cult, man, just call us Hexicans. The game has changed, ain't no going back now. Dummies that called Hex a scam can back down. I hope you understand, I pray that you follow me. You owe the entire Hex family an apology. And stay sober, cash out, the game's over. Hex is here for the market cap takeover. Buckle up, we about to be full throttle. With multiple audits is where we get paid to hodl. We got the game smothered, sisters and brothers, with no expectation of the work from others. It's complicated, I know that there's a lot to this. For your daily Hex updates, tune to Hexologists.
What's up, guys?
Hex is like nothing that you ever been through. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the pumpamentals. If you like what you hear, by now, think twice. Just remember, yo, this ain't financial advice. Call it a scam, nobody really cares. We can tell you the only one that ain't prepared. Oh yes, I'ma be a millionaire. 5, a couple trillion shares. Oh no, I ain't getting wrecked again. Richard Hart, he got us set to win. We're a family, we all the best of friends. We ain't a cult, man, just call us Hexicans.
HEX is the first certificate of deposit on the blockchain. It's an immutable smart contract that rewards those who lock up their coins when they stake. In other words, HEX was designed to be like a long-term savings account, but with far greater yield than anything the bank has to offer. If you're new to cryptocurrencies, here's how all of this works. When you purchase HEX, it behaves just like any other cryptocurrency. They vary in price as people trade them, just like Bitcoin. However, unlike other crypto assets, HEX pays you interest in the form of more HEX for locking up your monetary value for a selective period of time. The longer you time lock your HEX, the higher your interest rate will be. This is not unlike a traditional banking certificate of deposit. The key difference is, HEX was designed to yield extraordinarily high rates of return versus typical banking products, and puts you in complete control over your finances. But what does this really look like? Some people get into HEX without understanding enough about the product. They immediately make a large investment and throw out a few random stakes between 1 to 2 years. While this is great, HEX was designed to produce significant returns in both interest and fiat value over the course of several years, not just 1 or 2. If you properly understand its design, you can set yourself up to earn a perpetual passive income from HEX. This is like planting an orchard of apple trees. Apple trees are designed to take time to fully mature before they yield significant amounts of produce. HEX was designed in much the same way. Could you imagine trying to live on 2-year-old fruit trees that only just started producing a fraction of their full potential? Sure, you may see significant growth and even yield a little produce, but it would be impossible to enjoy the fruits of your labor for years to come. But what if you employed a longer-term plan in the development of your apple orchard? What if you planted a new crop each year from years 1 to 15? And what if you continued this process every year thereafter? If you did this, you would essentially have a never-ending supply of apples for generations. Can you imagine how much produce you'd receive from your 10 to 15-year-old apple trees? You could supply enough apples to feed a small country. This is exactly how HEX Savings works. It's a long-term savings account. Now, I'm not saying you should lock up all of your HEX for 15 years and forget about it. Although some have, and they seem to be quite happy with their decision. I'm saying, if you build a proper staking ladder, one that sets stakes to mature up to 10 or 15 years from today, you can enjoy the maximum yield on your investment for years to come. Having stakes set to mature between years 1 through 15 allows you to enjoy the fruits of your investment early, while also giving you the patience and discipline to reap potentially life-changing rewards in the longer term. It's the same as enjoying the abundant fruits of a 15-year-old apple tree versus a 1-year-old tree. Imagine if Bitcoin was designed this way. All of those who bought Bitcoin for $1 in the early years maybe wouldn't have sold all of their holdings at $10 and missed out on an additional 600,000% ROI in less than 7 years, not to mention where the price is today. Maybe if Bitcoin earned more Bitcoin in the form of interest for holding, more investors would hold long-term and be less likely to sell. These supply and demand economics cause the price to soar with very little sell pressure. It's a model that allows everyone the opportunity to succeed. What happens if the global HEX network only sells their interest monthly, quarterly, or yearly and restakes their remaining principal? Theoretically, it allows for the most stable price appreciation to the upside over time. Climbing prices, coupled with unparalleled interest rates for HEX stakers, creates a positive feedback loop that ultimately leads to one thing: freedom for all. Learn more and get started today at Hex.com.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, be sure to share, be sure to comment. Yeah. Hey, 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 hey. Yeah. Say hey. Hey, yeah. Say hey, hey. Hey, yeah. Say hey. Say hey, yeah. Say hey. Stake that hex, stake that hex, stake that hex, stake that hex. motherfucker. Ching, ching. I am the ching, ching, motherfucker. I just keep hitting jackpot after motherfucking jackpot. We still jackpot, bitch.
Thank you, Richard, for creating and founding the most amazing and disruptive financial technology cryptocurrency ever. Thank you, sir. And nice streams, Mr. BallietBran.
Okay, what's up, everybody? First off, everyone let me know if the mic is sounding okay or if it's a little bit too loud. I did get a new mic, so just want to confirm that, okay, mic is good. Awesome. So for everyone that doesn't know, today, okay, a little bit loud. Let me turn it down just a smidge. 1 second. Let me turn it down just a smidge, y'all. Hey, Liberty, thank you for patiently waiting. Okay. It's at like 175 now. I hope that sounds good. Sounds pro. Thanks, Serena. So, okay, Benny, please let me know now. I did adjust it down to 175. So just want to let everyone know. So obviously, as we know, I was following too. Hexologist just got done going live, and I told him I was going to go live with Karim, and so it's going to be at 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's 48 minutes from now. So I started a little bit early because he, was having a busy day and stuff like that. So thank you, everyone, for joining. We're just going to interact with the chat, kind of chit-chat about some Hex and just see how everybody's doing. And then at 5 o'clock, Karim, he already has the StreamYard link. And we'll go from there. We'll kind of find out more about Karim. I mean, I know he's already been on with a lot of the main streamers, and the most recent one, I think, was with Joe Exotic, and had a good time listening to that one, hearing more about Karim's story. So I want to hear more about Karim as well. And, I know he mentioned briefly, I think, how he got into Hex, but, I like to ask each set of people that I have on similar questions so we can all find out about them at the same time. So let's just shout out the chat. We got a lot of people here, more than I've had in a long time. So I know Liberty was watching, so thanks for watching. Yes, the intro is long. It's like a 20-minute intro, so everyone get used to it because it's a whole bunch of Hexican songs just compiled, and then the last minute is Joe's remix of Nagabo, and then like the last 10 seconds is Richard shouting me out. So that's the new intro for the most part. I'm on the Hex Offenders registry. That's funny. So yeah, let's shout out the chat. We're just going to chill with the chat until 5 o'clock, and then in about 47 minutes, Karim, he'll be in the back. But yeah, thanks for everyone. The shout out on the bling bling, right? It looks good. Let's see, shapeways.com, and just type in like Hex, and there was a pre-done Hex one. There was two different ones. Like this one I bought secondly. My other one's actually next to my gun safe over there, but this one's bigger, and it looks the way that I wanted it to, so happy about that. Twitch Dan73, very nice. Does a cheer. Thank you, cheer wall 1. So hope everyone's doing well. I mean, how's everybody doing tonight? We got a little bit of time until Karim gets on. Let's see. We're gonna pull up. Right now we're hovering at like 79% of a penny, and I know the actual adoption did roll over. So today we're on day 423 of Hex. So that's pretty cool. And we can also look at some other stats a little bit later. But let's see here. Yeah, Crypto King, he's kind of, saying some stuff. Let's see. HexMac 369, thank you for being here. He says, okay, he's just talking to Crypto King. Jazz S. Actually about this, so I'm not even aware of the context per se, but just in general, and thank you, Jazz, by the way, for that. But just in general, it's tough, right? Because Richard talks about it, like there's the honey or the vinegar, and there's a couple different ways to go about telling someone the same thing. Just one of them has more emotion, and the other one might have less bias, less emotion, and more information. So just wanted to say, because it's tough. I mean, Nerd Girl, she talks a lot about like tribalism, not just, I don't think, of crypto, but just in general. And everyone's always like, this is my tribe. This is, if you're not in, I don't know, if it's like, if you're not on my side, then whatever, and that's just pretty dividing. I mean, if we can still have that honey and still educate people at the same time, then I think that's kind of what Hexicans are really good at doing. So, and it is similar. Like someone like Nerd Girl, she was actually the one to kind of like chip through Ken Bozak, and he was the one saying like, I don't know if the tweets are still there or not, but a long time ago, maybe a few months ago even, he was saying, you know, Hex is a scam, blah, 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 the whole 9 yards that we've all heard for over a year. And then I guess her, after enough chipping away, kind of got him to actually research into it more instead of just, you know, mindlessly calling it a scam. So some people, they take a little bit longer. And here's the other thing too, Cuzdy. I agree. I mean, some people, they need to have it. and those people are fine too. But then, like even some of the drama I've seen lately on Twitter about adversary stuff, like, I don't know, just try not to involve yourself with too much of that, because misery does love company. So kind of off on the side tangent, Identity Block, he's in the house. He's been on the stream a handful of times. For everyone that doesn't know, on the top right corner, instead of, let me just show y'all, instead of this logo, we're now permanently going to this logo, Brandman the Shill. So we're going to be, you know, spreading the word about Staker app, right? Because Staker app is out now. The updates are at least with Android, and if you're in Apple or iOS, you can still run an emulator on your computer to do the Android. And hopefully soon that iOS update comes out, because a whole bunch of people are, you know, talking about that. So Staker app is something that is for everyone. It's something that's going to spread Hex all around the world. And it's really good for especially people that are new. They've never been into crypto. They've never even been into Hex. With Staker app, you can buy in the application. You can on-ramp via fiat into the application, or sorry, into, you know, US dollar or Ethereum, things like that. And then I think this is the most efficient step, is you would then convert it into Hex and then stake from there. Maybe someone else confirm if that's not the most efficient way about doing it. But the long story short is, you are gonna, just like with anything, right? With Ethereum, you pay a little bit of gas fee for the miners to do a transaction. Well, with Staker app, it's all consolidated into one app, and, you know, they take a small fee as well that part of this referral actually comes from. So I think it's like 20% of the actual fee comes from the fee, and not the actual like taking away from the stake. So hope that makes sense. Staker app is great. Thank you so much, Steph and Firebun. Your guys' work doesn't go unnoticed. I promise you that. And then also, as far as some updates, so this is just my room. I've got my girlfriend's apartment that I've streamed out a lot, that you guys have seen with the candelabra and everything. And then this is just my house, and here in Bellevue. So I did get a couple of these like RGB, like some lights over there in the corner that I could turn off the lights, and it would be like see if I, you know, you can kind of see. Oh, shit, maybe we'll do that. The lighting's still okay. So yeah, got some lights to kind of experiment with my house, and I can at least have a more permanent studio here, as opposed to my girlfriend's having to set it up and tear down the whole time. So Bitfinesse is in the house. Good to see you, Bitfinesse. I know him and I just did a stream most recently. Bitfinesse is a great guy. I love him to death. And the cool thing about the Hexicans is we have such a diverse and such a unique community. I mean, we literally have like any person to like when you're getting into a community, you want to find people that are like you, that are like-minded, right? We've got everyone for you, you know, for your type of personality. So, oh shit, okay, cannot scan your QR codes, too bright /yellow. Thank you very much, Twitch Dan. I'll definitely change that after the show. Really appreciate that. In the meantime, what I will do is I am going to take, well, first off, the allmylinks.com/BallietBran. That is where you can find my my ref link, and if you can't find it there, then you can find it. Oh, sorry about that. Then you can find it right here. So that's my my Staker app invite. click the QR code and get into a Staker app. It's got a lot of really cool features that is doing some good stuff. So thank you, HexMac. Put a black outline around it, Bran. Good call. Didn't consider that, but just like Matty Allin with his stream that he was just having, I didn't realize that before the stream. So good to know. Thank you for the feedback. I appreciate everyone for that feedback. So yeah, Matty's in the house. He did a stream today, and that was a really good stream, kind of talking about the traditional markets right now. Some stuff going on. So people that are shorting, Richard has mentioned this several times, where the actual, as far as like the money that you can make and the percentage of gain you can make when you're shorting, like the most you can make is like 100%. And but with long, your actual upside difference is infinite. So Bitcoin from a penny to $40,000 is going to be infinitely better than trying to short. So anyway, shorts got squeezed as Matty's stream was kind of talking about. So good stream, Matty, good stuff. And then I also agree. One thing Matty mentioned, and just briefly is one of the things I've mentioned that Hexicans have as a good problem is we've got so many Hexicans on board, so many streamers, that sometimes we do overlap. I don't think that's the end of the world, honestly. I've given a lot of thought to it, and at the end of the day, those are good problems to have. Like no other crypto community has it, where people are streaming over each other and when are you going, when am I going, and all of this. No one has that, but the Hex community. And the Hexicans we're doing streams almost 24/7. So I think it is a really good problem, and that's the only thing I want to say is keep up all the good work, Hexicans. We've got a big community team and just a whole bunch of like-minded people in Hex. And one thing that the Hexologist has mentioned is like we're going to be here at least 15 years. And for someone like myself, we're also going to be. For me, I can only speak about myself, but I'm at least going to be, staking in the next 15 years. And so if you've got Quattro Cincos on top of those stakes in the future, then it's even longer than 15 years. So as far as like, the tension and whatnot, we got to be better than that. We got to try and put our emotions aside and feelings aside and just realize we're all in this together, right? And at the end of the day, when everyone's streaming, we've all got our own twist on things, and we all have our own unique subscribers and whatnot. So I just want to say thank you for everyone, being considerate of that. So, hey, Twitch Dan 73, I'm glad this is the first time you're seeing me. I really appreciate this. He says, pretty much first time seeing you, BallietBran, but must say I like your way to talk. Hey, thank you, Twitch Dan. I appreciate the compliment. And been streaming. Here's the thing. So I'm 24 and I've had my YouTube channel for probably at least 14 years, something like that, and would always make one-off YouTube videos. I mean, even some of the Hexicans I've mentioned, like BallietBran making Smucker's Uncrustable when I was like 10 and had my other dog in the past. But anyways, since I started streaming, I've kind of been able to slowly but steadily learn how to make the content a little bit better and cater to the audience a little bit better. So we're just every single stream try to get a little bit better. And actually, Barely Crafty, he was one of the first people to really give me a good tip when I was streaming. So want to say thank you, Twitch Dan, for joining. And let's cover some of the comments. So. Oh shit, dude! We just got everybody in the house. Good to see everyone. Karim, for anyone that's just getting in, he'll be here at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it's about 35 minutes from now. I'll be entertaining the chat. My 20-minute intro already went off, so we can kind of just see how everyone's doing. And like I said, hope everyone's doing well. So Hextoshi, Bran, my bro, good to see you. Hextoshi, I know it's been a little minute, so let's. Let's get you on stream sometime again if you want, and see how everyone's doing. let's see, BallietBran, and I hear there's an uptick on Hex on TikTok. Tongue twister. Yeah, the cool thing. So you guys can see my QR code in the right, and it's in my name there. allmylinks.com/BallietBran. My name is ultra Googleable. Hey, thanks. Yeah, like I said, as far as SEO and whatnot goes, just like Hex.com, right? I've had BallietBran, and even the domain. I just bought it like a year ago, but I've had the BallietBran social medias, and I was on Facebook before any of my brothers and their friends, but have had that for a long time. So that's cool that it's Googleable. I'm happy that the name can get out there, because right now and for the foreseeable future, I want to just be able to provide value somehow. So if it's through streams and getting on cool Hexicans, then we can learn more from their stories. So yeah, Corey, he's in the chat. He says, oh yeah, this is cool. I agree with this. He says, Hexicans are the new Jedis. The force is strong within us all. And actually, I didn't forget about didn't forget about DLive. I got it right here. I just don't have it on a separate tab here. So let's cover. Nice. We got some peeps in the chat. Okay, so Real Spike's in the house on DLive. Actor not. Yep. The stage is set. Hex King. Real Spike. Hex is like Alcoholics Anonymous for traders. Totally. Real Spike says, regarding leagues, most have not changed over the past year. About as many sharks and dolphins as a year ago. I agree with that. Oh, will Sticker app be desktop? Real Spike says. I believe so. And then Hex King says, see y'all soon. Great show, BallietBran. Michael.hex. He's another Hexican. Donated 1 lemon, so thank you. And yeah, the sapper. Yeah. Yeah, everyone's got their own catchphrases, right? Or their own, you kind of learn about people's like quirks when they're streaming. Just like with Richard, me watching thousands of hours about Hex and his streams, you get to know the person. So yeah, I've got certain catchphrases that I try to be mindful about, so I'm not boring everybody to death when people are streaming. One of the things you want to avoid is and things like that, to just avoid dead air. So I don't mind the dead air, but I don't want to be repeating catchphrases like that when it's just filling dead air. So Nate J's in the house. Jesbian, I like it. What's Balliet? Balliet's my last name. Balliet in French. It's French. Hexmac369. Guys, if you're not following Bran, what are you doing? Get on Twitch, YouTube, DLive, follow, subscribe, and smash that like button. Yes. Yeah, that's one of the things. Hey, Billy Boy, thank you. And Nate J, good to see you too. But so that's one of the things that's amazing. Hexologist was he was the referral program for the adoption amplifier was created, and Hexologist was born from that from that referral link. And so yeah, as far as speaking French, oui. That's about all the French that unfortunately Mr. Balliet knows. Un day trois quatre cinq, something like that. I know a couple words. Oui. But so my point is when it comes to referral links, they work. Richard Hart, this is his words, not mine, but he's mentioned that it's what really helped him do very, very well and very successfully in the world. So that's great. And actually, guys, I am gonna turn that light back on. The other lights can just stay there. So let's just cover some Hex information. We got another 30 minutes until Karim and I are scheduled to be on. So let's see if I can bring a couple of these tabs over. This is the other cool thing. At my house here, I've got a couple of monitors, so it's more efficient than just one monitor at the girlfriend's place. All right, so let's share the screen. We're going to go to uniswap.hex.vision, and let's do, all right, share screen. Let's just make sure it's sharing the screen properly. Cool. Okay, so uniswap.hex.vision. This is version 2, where all the liquidity is. Right now, you can see Hex about 78% of a penny. This is just hourly, like for everyone. For everyone, Hex is a certificate. It's similar to Bitcoin, and it's similar to a certificate of deposit, right? So, 1 second. Let me just say something real quick. Do you think people made more money trading Bitcoin, or do you think people made more money by buying Bitcoin and holding it for long lengths of time and then selling it when it reached the value that they wanted? In my opinion, it's the latter, where Richard mentions, yeah, sure, Bitcoin was at a penny, sure, it was at $1, but how many of those people are holding it now? Probably not a lot. 10, 11 years. Yeah, I need to add a black background. Thank you for the information. Okay, make it bigger so that our mobiles can detect it on cam, my friend. Thank you, Hexican. I appreciate the information, guys. We'll change it before my stream. The other thing is my only official scheduled day is Sundays. Our Sundays at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, but because streaming is so fun and contagious, and I love interacting with everyone, I do want to continue the Saturday streams, like the Hexican Hangouts, and even the Sunday Hexican Hangouts as well. So even just like right now, where Karim, he'll be on in 29 minutes, I can kind of entertain the chat before the person comes on or the group of people come on. So Karim will be joining us in about 28 minutes, so everyone knows. And we're gonna have a good time hanging out with Karim. So I really look forward to that, and I appreciate him being able to reschedule, because we were going to do it at 5 o'clock on Monday, and I didn't want to stream over someone else. So happy he was able to make Wednesday work. So okay, so yeah, to the point that I was making. So who do you think was more wealthy, right? And who do you think's just doing more successful right now? The people that bought Bitcoin at $1, or the people that just at $1 they kept trading it back and forth. One thing that Richard mentions a lot is there's a lot of gamblers and a lot of poker players in crypto and whatnot. And even though those ideals in game theory are supposed to teach you to conserve and whatnot, usually people double down, and so what happens with trading is that generally happens where people that just bought and hold did better. One thing Richard's mentioned, who makes the most money? Founders and holders, right? And this is definitely holders. So with Hex, it's a smart contract that pays you to hold Hex as long as you have it staked. So if you have it staked for 1 day, great. For that whole day, you're earning interest. You're earning penalties from people's end stakes. You're getting more Hex. So it's really cool. It's not just up 360 something X. That's just the spot, I guess. But if you actually consider the interest, if you were to take advantage of the interest, then it would be significantly higher, because those numbers would multiply. So let's keep interacting with the chat until Karim gets in. Once again, Karim, he's going to be joining us in about 26 minutes. Hexo kind of had a shorter stream today, so I don't mind starting early. And thank you for everyone that's here early before Karim gets here. So appreciate that. Abracadabra, can we start a cult so I can ask off from work on Sundays for religious reasons? Hey, let's do it. Where's the place to sign? Where's the Discourse Syndicate? So Jesbian, Discourse Syndicate doesn't start until 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Right now, I'm in Pacific Standard Time Zone. It's 4:34. So in 2 hours and 26 minutes, Discourse Syndicate will be going on tonight. So that's what's going on there. So yeah, that's where Discourse Syndicate is. They'll still be here. Cuz D1 says, what would Tone Vase say about trading? Da. Yeah, he would just say da. That's pretty much the only words that Tone Vase knows. Sorry, I need to delete a D-Live troll real quick here. Someone's spamming up the chat in Russian. I don't know what you're saying in Russian, my friend. I'm sorry. Gotta ban you. Don't do that shit. Let's mute that person. Okay, cool. And then Michael, I need to make him a mod too. Cool. So yeah, we're still on D-Live for everyone. We're on StreamYard currently. pay for a subscription that allows me to have like eight different streams. And I will be upgrading. I say this a lot, but I said the same thing, that I will be upgrading to the OBS and stream overlay, things like that. And now that we got the gaming laptop and the proper hardware, then the software is just that second layer. So yeah, do the 5. Maybe you want to elaborate on the 5. Honestly, I'm not too familiar, but the five things, whatever those are, I'm not too familiar with what each one is. I'm in the UK. We'll try and stay up. Hey, if you get tired and need to leave, that's totally fine. I mean, you don't have to stay up for the stream, but yeah, we got about 24 minutes until Karim gets on, and him and I will be streaming until Discourse Syndicate or until he has time to stream. So we never really agreed upon how long the time would be, but that'll be really fun to hear from him. Karim is the man. Oh, okay. So someone earlier asked about staking ladders, and I really want to mention this because let me see if I can scroll up. I really want to mention this because a lot of people are saying like the gas fees and things like this. Okay, yeah, I'm not seeing the comment, but the person mentioned what does your staking ladder look like, or what would you recommend? First off, I'm not a financial advisor and things like that, so I can't necessarily recommend anything, right? But for what I'm doing, when Hex came out, the gas fees were nominal. They weren't even something that you thought about. You had like $5 of Ethereum in your wallet, and you could do like 500 transactions. The transactions were like 1 Gwei, which is like Bitcoin Satoshi. Anyways, now they're more expensive, right? And then at the end of that stake, the actual Ethereum network, it needs to do computation for all of those days that you were staked. So you've got a beginning gas fee to stake Hex, and then once that stake ends, you've got a transaction fee that you got to pay as well for the miners to make sure that all of that information is correct. So to answer your question, I do at least an annual stake in staking ladder. I mean, for the next 15 years, I've got a stake coming out each year. But the way that it works is some of the people had smaller stakes. Like some people have staking minimums on Look Into Crypto, and myself and Motley, we were all doing a stream last night. Gary, Funding Jim, and Coffee joined as well, but I didn't get to stay until Coffee got there. But pretty much what they were talking about earlier when I was on is they do have a minimum for what their lowest amount of Hex is for staking. And it is something to consider, because one of the unintentional things that Richard mentioned about Hex is that's almost a pump. I mean, it's not almost. It is a pumpamental if someone staked too little Hex and then they can't unstake it, because those actual Hex are just going to get distributed 1% each week to the actual stakers. So that'll kind of help out with that. Cuz D1 says, I'm looking to get a desktop. Should I buy parts or a Alienware tower? Trying to save money here. Well, if you're trying to save money, from the information I know, mine's a laptop. So, but all I can really tell you is the information I know. It's a lot more efficient to my knowledge to just build it yourself with parts. As far as the actual Alienware towers, that's the other thing too, is you're just paying for a convenience. So what are you paying? A couple $100 extra bucks for the case and everything else to be all in one? I mean, if you want to save a couple $100 extra bucks or whatever the difference is, then you can build it yourself. That also takes the time and everything. Otherwise, you can buy a pre-made tower. I mean, it's a really like personal decision as well. All I can kind of give is just my ideas and opinions. One thing HexMax says, it's also good learning experience to build it yourself. Yeah, I've had a computer in my room since I was in 3rd grade, and it's just a desktop, but the actual RAM itself was like 256 megabytes or megabits, whatever it was, megabytes, I think. And anyways, it's crazy how much it's gotten better. But yeah, the cool thing about building it yourself is first off, you can just do steps on YouTube, right? You can just walk along with someone on YouTube. but you can also learn how to troubleshoot things and even upgrade if you ever need to do that as well in the future. So yeah, identity blocks in the house, children of the grave, annual are my favorite stakes. Exactly. So at the end of the day, when you have Hex and you stake it, you earn interest, right? So if you're doing more stakes, you're kind of just diluting the amount of T-shares that you have and the amount of interest that each one is accruing, right? So you can only speak like in hindsight, right? But if I were to like do it over again, I might just do I would do 15 stakes, one of each year, and then I'd probably do another stake at the half year mark. So maybe a total of like 30 stakes, and I would just have a shit ton of Hex. Because, say if you had like, I don't know, 30 stakes of like a couple 100,000 Hex each stake, something like that, it would be a lot better than kind of diluting it, in my opinion, was kind of what I would do over again if I had the chance. And what I'm doing in the future is just taking some of the stakes that maybe were a little bit smaller and just consolidating them out. So, yeah, exactly. All right, so let's see if there's anyone else on DLive. We got a Crypto Fred just followed. So yeah, one of the things I got to mention. So we're streaming everywhere right now. We got 69 people watching. Great. We got Facebook, YouTube, DLive, Periscope, and Twitch, and then Trovo. So we got 7 streams that we're going out to. I think we can add one more too, but. So hope everyone's doing well. Yeah, children of the grave. Exactly. And you will. Anal, you will. Anyways. So let's see what else we got. Transaction fees are paid in Ethereum. Make sure you got some. Yeah, that's the thing that a lot of people I think will like Staker app for this reason. Is for myself as a Hexican, honestly, I wasn't even telling people like, oh, you need to get into Hex or anything. It's just like the clip that I made where that RG3 was saying the other day, where people are coming to me. They're like, oh, Bran, what's this Hex thing, and what's the bling bling, and what's Bitcoin and all this stuff. And so it's an educational experience. But some of the people that have even been like severely interested, they've been extremely turned off by, I don't know, the 10 or 15 steps, right? So things like Staker app allows you to do everything in one place. It allows you to set up a wallet. It's a 24-word seed phrase. No Stew Safe, I think, is the type of wallet or something. But anyways, it's a 24-word seed phrase, similar to any other seed phrase. You just write it down on paper. It'll ask you to recite it once just to make sure you know the actual 24 words, and then that is the actual seed phrase and pretty much like the private key or cold storage part to the actual access of the coins. So that 24 words is what you want to keep secure. Never. I heard someone saying they took a screenshot. Don't do that. Like the whole thing about, in my opinion, I wouldn't do that. The whole thing about security and operational security is yeah. If you have any possibilities of it being on your computer or phone, it's a lot easier to take down, right? So people are saying we got a brand pump going. What's this? What's it going from 78% of a penny to 80%? We got green dildos on the chart. See, this is just the 1 hour. So it's 1 hour is like a really low time frame for people that aren't too experienced in markets. But you can kind of just see, like, if we're just talking about like just chip chopping, we kind of got some just chop action happening anywhere from like, say, like 73% of a penny to like 83% of a penny, something like that. There seems to be a whole bunch of chop within this range, and it always seems that in markets and in charts and whatnot, there's always like an accumulation that seems to happen. Because at the end of the day, it's people's buys and sells, right, on the public market. So you can kind of see when right here, sure, we had the 2 cent top that a lot of people kind of wicked down, but then it's consolidated this whole way down. Like people are buying as much as people are selling, which is kind of making it do that sideways chop. So that's kind of something interesting to look at. All right, let's go back to Brandman and see what people are talking. You're stealing the Hexo pump. Yeah, it's the brand pump. Yeah, exactly. Jesbian says, Hexican got it. Seems like 5 T-shares is the reasonable minimum to make it worthwhile. I think that's what Huddle Dog recommends. Yeah, if I don't recall, it's like what is that, like 100,000 hex? Let's go from here to we can share another screen. Let's do. Well, actually, I got it in this other tab here. Yeah, let's just share another screen. So I've got a public wallet that I feel comfortable sharing on Livestreams. Let's stop the screen share and let's share it again. We're going to go to go.hex.com/stake, but instead we're going to go to go.hex.com first, just to look at some of the information. So I used to wonder, like, when this page first came out, like, oh, where's this page again? Because if you click on any of these, it won't bring you back to this. So you have to go to just go.hex.com with nothing else after that, and it'll get you to the info page. So we got some T-share information. T-share, what it is just a Terra share. We'll go over that in just a second. But the T-share is similar to Bitcoin hash rate and miners, right? So the actual miner itself in Bitcoin is kind of depending on your hash rate and whatnot. You're earning X amount of Bitcoin per day. Hex is similar in that regard, where it's a daily payout based on your T-share, and this is just consecutive. If we actually scroll all the way down, guys and gals, people bitch all the time, like, oh, the fees and the percentage of APY. Like, if you look in the first couple of weeks and whatnot, it wasn't. Yeah, I guess 4% is where it would be. It wasn't very high, right? Like, even 4% is a lot, but compared to what we're seeing at now, it's just incredible. So you get paid out. So you get paid in Hex per T-share that you have. So yesterday it was 5.786 Hex per T-share. And since we're on this page anyways, if we just go to stake, this is where you can actually stake Hex aside from Staker app. So you can go to allmylinks.com/BallietBran to get into Staker app, or you can go to go.hex.com and you can stake the OG way, the old way, right? But so yeah, what the person was saying is they said their minimum was about five T-shares. So if we just take the calculator, 16,748 times 5. Sorry, I'm not a savant. So it's about 83,740. So there is a minimum that you do want to consider when staking Hex, right? Because at what point is the actual amount of the cost in gas going to start interfering with the principal and with the interest that you're earning? So even just this wallet, let's principal. Yeah, I mean, this wallet is, luckily they're staked out for a long time, because this is kind of just a play around wallet. But even like the OG, I've got several wallets, but even just the OG wallet itself, they're bigger stakes. And I've learned that as I've been in the markets on a daily basis is, there probably is a minimum that I want to consider. So I think that's important, because nothing's worse than like now you're like contemplating like, oh, is this Hex even worth the unstake? Things like that. So that's all kind of like a hidden hidden pumpamental. Twitch Dan 73. Info page also appears when you click the Hex logo on the upper left. I didn't even consider that. That's usually what most websites do. Didn't even consider that. Thank you so much, Dan. You taught me something new, and I love the community about that, because we can all learn something new every single day, right? So try not to get like too cocky where your head's getting too big and then you're not taking advice from people. So just started a prediction for giggles. Well, what's your prediction? Use your channel points to guess an outcome. Okay. Yeah, I need to mess around with Twitch and more social media. More social media. Dedicate a little bit less of my time shit posting and being a robot on Twitter and actually upgrading the channel. So yeah, I am spending a little bit less time on Twitter and trying to get some of this other stuff down. So the social media and things like that. All right, so we got about 10 minutes until Karim comes on. And I know he'll be on around 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Oh, yeah, he says, sounds good, thanks. Almost done with work. Great timing. Yeah, perfect, man. Yeah, we're saying around 5, so whatever works for you, man. And thank you again for being able to reschedule. So, yeah, let's see. We already went over that. Depends on length as well. And yeah, abracadabra, that is the other thing. I mean, when we come over here, let's go back to just stake. So it does depend on your length, right? Even with someone like Hexo, he's mentioned that not all of his stakes are Quattro Cinco, and obviously that's understandable. And this wallet isn't either. So depending on your stake, and with Ethereum 2.0 that's coming out, it is going to lower the fees and things like that. Just nobody knows when it is coming out, right? So for now, the cost of fees and using gas and the network itself is what it is, right? But in the future, it will be lower, most likely. So that is something to consider as well. I don't think I really have anything to fear on these stakes. And even if I did, and I somehow had the gas cost too much, then I've got other stakes on other wallets that would keep me afloat. So yeah, 80% of a penny. Let's see here. Trying this. Nobody entered, LOL. I guess Hexicans are not yet that custom to Twitch perks. Yeah, honestly, with myself and Twitch even too, I'm kind of just getting into Twitch. I never really used it very much, so it's really cool to be able to learn everything. Because I used to game all the time, similar to Richard. Used to be hardcore gamer. For me, it was just like Call of Duty. Was kind of the stuff that I would play a lot. And I guess that's what you kind of consider like grinding somewhat, is each game would kind of be grinding on that. But anyways, I'm happy I stopped gaming. But when I did, I like stopped everything completely. Like I was just on the internet and wasn't doing a whole bunch of like Twitch or streaming and things like that. So we're getting into OBS and some other stuff slowly but surely. And appreciate everyone, with all the good information. So Danny says, I am king of the single T-shirts. Yeah, I mean, hey, exactly. All I can afford it most times, and I know you've shared a little bit of, your situation, whatnot. Everyone, their actual amount and what they do is different, right? It's variable. Everyone's got their own bills and funds that they can afford and families that they need to support and things like that. So the cool thing about Hex is, yeah, you don't have to stake it. You can hold it liquid. And, it's just like any other ERC20 token in that aspect. But the other thing that it has is the hard locking stake and is that like time locking component where it'll actually, in reward for you staking, the actual smart contract for locking up will reward you for interest depending on the APY for that day. So Hashgraph, Richard talked about it before. He mentioned, like centralized, and I don't know. I don't know much about Hashgraph, honestly. All I know is I've heard Richard talk about it, and he's not been too much of a fan. The thing about like, and here's where being a maximalist can kind of like somewhat make you an outsider sometimes, is like, last night I was joining the crypto hexagon table with Knights of the Crypto, whatever, crypto round table, crypto hexagon table, looking at crypto coffee, funding gym, Motley. We kind of talked about some of that information. So sorry, I kind of just had a blank real quick. Oh, they were kind of talking about some other altcoins, and I've been kind of like maximalish on Hex for quite a while. So similar to the gaming and whatnot, when I stopped the gaming, I also lost a lot of the information that I might have been studying at that time. So is what it is. I like being a Hex, maximalist for the most part. I mean, the cool thing about Hex is it works for my style, my personality, as opposed to people trying to become like professional cryptocurrency traders, and they think they're going to be like the the Wolf of Wall Streets and things like that. That's all just a fallacy, like a bullshit lie that like Hollywood sells you, or these people try to sell you. Even Wall Street tries to sell you. But in reality, even if you were that good, like the actual time that you're spending doing it would be like a full-time job. And the cool thing about Hex is right now I'm earning interest. You take the T-shares that you're earning and multiply that by the actual payout for that day, and that's how much Hex you earn that day on that stake, right? And the longer pays better. So similar to a traditional CD, where at least some CDs, where every year longer that you stake, you get 20% more yield or interest, whatever it is. Then Hex does a very similar thing as well, where up to 10 years, you'll be getting 20% more interest and shares, I guess. I should say shares, not interest, but 20% more shares for every year extra that you stake. And that goes all the way up to 3 times the shares, which is called longer pays better, and it maxes out at 3,641 days. So since we're actually at it, and since we have 67 people, let me go back to this real quick, and let's just see. Okay, cool. So it will show real quick here. So just to kind of show you guys that longer does pay better. So actually, let's just do this from a T-share basis. This will probably just be easier. 16, 17, 50, and then 1 day. Okay, so say hypothetically you have 16,750 Hex. That's going to be 1 T-share in today's value, right? If we take this number 1 day and we change it to 3641, then we're going to max out the T-shares. So 3641, that's going to be in about 10 years. It would be January 2031 on the 18th, actually, because the day rolls over. But the actual payout and the actual interest and the actual things that you might want to be focusing on and looking at when you're doing stakes are these actual T-shares. So that's kind of what we were talking about a little bit earlier, is, in my opinion, when someone asked me about my ladder, yeah, I did have a lot of stakes, like a lot. And what I'm doing is I'm consolidating the actual amount per stake that I'm doing. So yeah, maybe I'm doing 50,000, 75,000, 100,000, whatever it is, Hex per stake. So we do, without further ado, we do have the man, the myth, the legend, Karim, in the back room. The moment you have all been waiting for, right? Brandon's entertained everyone enough, and we're gonna get Karim on here. So yeah, without further ado, let's get Karim on. Let's remove the share screen. All right, 1, 2, 3. How we doing?
What's going on?
Good to see you, man.
Good to be here. Good to be here, man. Very excited. Just finished up work, and I'm getting used to this green screen thing.
Hey, it looks good, man. I know with the way that the StreamYard's set up, you can't see the piano, but yeah, you do got a piano back there, so it's cool, man.
I zoomed it in a little bit and moved my chair so it can kind of fit in the whole screen. That's why. Nice,
dude. No, it looks good, man. I tell you what, the green screen itself, it's pretty cool technology, man. I was never really into like streaming before and things like that, but it's super cool. You can put any background, so it's fun to play with.
Yeah, and then shout out to RG. He hooked me up with a good link, and then I bought something that was nice. And then, nice, setting it up, it's fun. Get to play with it, mount it, ready to go. And now, obviously, this is the standard from StreamYard. But yeah, as we get more backgrounds, love to try those out. So what's up, everybody in the chat? What's up, Sammy? What's up, Benny Blanco? All right, let's do this. I'm excited. You're probably streaming on multiple platforms too, right?
Yeah, man. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, DLive, and Trovo.
Amen. Welcome, everybody.
We got about 68 people watching right now.
See, Kool-Aid is like, shout out, Karim got a green screen. Listen, that's all we do, man. That's all we do. We adapt quick, we evolve, and it finally showed up. That's the funny story because, right, Amazon said 2 day, whatever, Prime. That did not come in 2 days. I can tell you that.
Totally, man. I know a lot of people in general, and I'm guilty of this as well, but can be procrastinators. And I know even for like Maddie that did the first Hex conference, Some people had kind of waited the last week or whatever. And anyways, to your point, yeah, just because it says 2-day delivery in Prime, sometimes, the world happens. I mean, and sometimes it can be a day late or a couple days late. So.
Yeah, all good. Hey, I have it now. So, and more importantly,
exactly,
I have the content. So,
no, it's cool, man. Yeah, thank you for coming on, and thank you for being able to, reschedule a couple days later, and appreciate that, man. Appreciate your time. I know I was thinking about it as I was driving over to my house, but someone like yourself, not only are you like one of the higher leagues that I know. I mean, I know a lot of the Dolphins, and even in one myself too, but. With someone like yourself that even got into Hex, not at the beginning and is already doing so good and already has the system down. I really kind of want to hear a little bit more about maybe like how you even heard about Hex, because I know you said you got in in like April, or can you maybe share
April, end of April towards May. So. My famous saying is I helped make the first top. You know what I mean? That big one, that 6,000%. That's me. You're welcome. So
dude,
like
totally, man. No, that's super cool. I know Richard Hart has the same thing or a similar thing with Bitcoin, right? He said the same thing about the $30 top, and so it's really cool that you can kind of have that kind of economic energy to have.
Yeah, but what's amazing about Hex beyond that, because I'll mainly say that for fun, is that once you fully understanding and you spend the time, I'm the type of person when I make a move, right, I go full force after I do my research. So it's like, because I was able to FOMO, so to speak, for fun, but I knew exactly what I was doing. And because I knew I was buying to stake, so to me, it was a no-brainer because, again, my exit is many, many years down the road, and the price is going to be, like, irrelevant, right? It's like the famous saying, if you bought Bitcoin when it was, even $30, or whatever, and then it goes up to, where it is today or even 10,000, like, do you care if you were one of those that bought it at 35, you know what I mean? Instead of 30 or even $40 if it goes up to like 10,000 plus. So it's the type of mindset that I had when I started in. So, it's more kind of like a good joke to say also what RG's been saying, some of the big well hasn't showed up yet. And I'm a perfect example of that because I wasn't day one. So I had to go and earn my position, you know what I mean, using my cash. And it made sense because, again, I run the numbers.
It's super cool, and it's super true, too. I mean, I was kind of mentioning kind of killing some time and whatnot. We started the stream a little bit early before you came on. And there's always the talk of Ethereum and this and that. But one of the things, as far as the gas fees go, one of the things that we've kind of talked about that Richard's mentioned is Ethereum is where to your point, like the whales that are in it now aren't going to be maybe like there's always going to be more money coming in. And if Ethereum is the ecosystem that everything else is built on top of and that people are in with, $70 million wallets and $30 million wallets, then stay in that ecosystem until everything says otherwise. But we're just getting started, man.
Absolutely. And actually, to make something really, really clear, I want everybody to listen to this and take this part out if you want. That's going to be an awesome tweet or a meme or whatever. But it's so important to me because if it wasn't for Ethereum, there's a high probability, I kid you not, I probably would not invest. And let me explain what I mean by that. Because I was at a stage where, and you pick it back to the backstory of, coming in 2017, seeing booms and bust cycles and, promised land, all this other stuff. You're like, no, I don't want to deal with promised lands anymore. I want finished product. I'm willing to wait. It's kind of like Bitcoin at the time. But then I always knew smart contract was the future. It was just a matter of when something complete will show up. So my plan was always to get into Ethereum and then kind of wait out, so to speak, when the complete project shows up, because, EOS turned out to be a flop, which is sad because, we had almost everything back then, community and all that stuff. It's just, again, block one failed and simple. And that's when I learned no more promise, even though sometimes people try, right? But I'm done trying because every time it's my money that goes. I mean, I'm talking 6 figures. I'm not talking like,
yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah, try. Yeah, we failed. Yeah, but guess what? You didn't give us a refund. Not that we asked for it, but it's just, the maturity of saying, what can I learn from this, right? A lot of my previous live streams, I talk about this a lot, building systems. It's all about that. It's not your fault if you believe into something and it didn't work out. Those people failed you, not the other way around. But it becomes your fault if you keep repeating the same thing over and over, expecting different result, and then you get burned and then you're acting on surprise. This is the difference between those who understand the value of building systems and those who just kind of wing it and stuff like that. So long story short, after that phase, I was like, well, Ethereum, because, the alliance, the development, blah, 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 it looks promising. Again, funny joke, we've been heard about AGA since the EOS days, and they still haven't really launched anything. I mean, they barely got a wallet together. I mean, it's kind of a joke. But anyway, for some people, they want to speculate, good for them. But with the kind of money that I was moving and I plan on moving, it didn't make any sense. So it just kind of be a matchmaking in heaven, because I was always Ethereum until something comes up. I know it will have higher return than Bitcoin over time, percentage gains, lower market cap, yada, yada. And then Hex just turned out to be a blessing. And finding out that it was coming from Richard, even better, because I've been following him, charge calls and then funny live stream is very entertaining. So, and again, he speaks to me because it's about logic, numbers. I'm very rational like that. Like I bust out a lot of people that just have a lot of faulty thinking and reasoning, but his tactics are sound. He knows what he's talking about, and he's speaking the truth, right? He's not just a follower. And I love people like that speak truth to power. Even if I have to lose followers, I will always tell you the truth, because you need to understand that, because ultimately it's going to be better for you. The same way in my line of business, I'm in sales, but I don't always tell the customer what they want to hear, right? Because that's not what you're here for. And I'm not always doing what they say, so to speak, right? The customer is not always right, but you always need to be agreeable with the customer. Big difference. Some people don't understand the difference. We can be agree to disagree, you know what I mean? But I'm not going to tell you something that's not true, especially if I'm the professional, I'm the expert, and you came to ask my advice to then be able to tell you the hard truth, you know what I mean? Because people like to tell everything when it's easy, when it's fun, but when there's something hard to talk about, now they want to kind of shy away, which is not good, because ultimately you think you're telling the person what they want to hear, but you're hurting them in the long term, which is no good. So Richard, to me, was a breath of fresh air. Now you add Hex to it. So I was like, let me do my research, because, right, as an investor, when you like somebody or you like how they think, then you start to look, okay, what else is involved? What can I see? You know what I mean? So that was the entry drug, so to speak. Then Hex.com, and then I was always looking for a product where I can park money long term, let alone earn interest, even better. Dude, I was already sold when he was doing 15 to 20+%. Everything above that is just caviar, because I'm the type of person, I'm going to stay productive. I'm going to keep working. I'm going to stack money. I'm just going to keep staring at the dream account, but I'm just going to keep making money. I'm not just going to stop, leave off crypto. To me, that's just me. That's not a good move. The same way you can be in crypto 100%, but still work in crypto. I mean, not just rely on, you know what I mean, your investment, so to speak, because it's all fun until something happens you didn't predict, until there's a longer correction, right? 42K could have been the top for 2021. I don't want to sound bearish, but you never know. I mean, listen. Oh,
yeah, totally. Dude.
There's some key technical. And again, Rich has been hinting. You see people talking nonsense. Now it's like, oh, that USD is starting to look pretty great. Imagine, right? Right around. It's so funny how it's 42K. We're talking on the live stream, and the next day correction. It's just like, dude, you can't make this up. It's genius. It's just like, and I'm just looking at it, I'm like, watch. It's gonna be hilarious. But it's just, you combine that, you combine the know-how. Somebody's been in the industry for a very, very long time, and you add again, people that want to delay instant gratification. So all the things that Hex represents, it's something that, those are my core values. So that's why I say it's a matchmaking in heaven, because it's literally long-term CD/savings account, stashing money away that grow at a compounding rate better than anything that I've ever seen. It's so good. I mean, we're talking, shout out to all my Genesis shareholders out there. You know who you are. We're pushing 60 plus, almost literally easy. So it's just that on the 555 stake. So it's really understanding how the return is so good that trading doesn't even make sense. It's almost like, again, I'm a logical person, and my time is better spent elsewhere, generating more cash flow, spending time with family, enjoying myself. My birthday is coming up,
Nice.
So it's going to be amazing. So not having to stare at a screen. So you combine all of that plus is built on Ethereum, to me, that was like, okay, dude, it's a done deal, built to last. Because to me, getting Hex, it's like Richard said all the time, I'm just multiplying my Ethereum. You know what I mean? And I really said it many times, true Hexican, my sticker class people, we can care less about the Hex ETH chart. It's all about the USD here because Uniswap, again, it's a ratio. That's just how the thing works with the limit order. So people don't understand that it may look down, but Ethereum did a 300x. Okay, the simple fact that it's still above that, it's huge. It's the same thing where I give you an analogy. It's like the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, and I tweeted about it, and it's literally riding. It's already at 4% of a Bitcoin and trending upward. So when Bitcoin do this crazy rally, right, that ratio went down. Ethereum took a beating, so to speak, even though it was going up too. But then the sooner it catches the breather, it catches up. The same way we went like what? Some crazy, the highest was like 50x of over Ethereum, right? Since the beginning of it. And then oh, it's going down. Dude, it's just cooling off. It's still 20 plus X, keyword X over. So that's what you have to do, like the big manager funds do. It's a year-over-year review to make it fair assessment. The same way we're trying to be fair to Bitcoin too. We say, okay, in 2020, what happened when it's all said and done? And then in 2021, when the year ends, not just 1 month in, because Ethereum will eventually cool off, then watch what happens. It's just rinse and repeat. It's the same thing. Bitcoin goes up first, Ethereum cools off, Bitcoin stabilize, Ethereum catch up, then Ethereum cools off, and Hex catch up. You see what I mean? So it's just literally textbook. So every time you see that and you're playing the long-term value and you're parking the money where you know it's ultimately going to end up, right? Like Raoul Paul now, funny joke, goes from Bitcoin maximalist to now he's want to talk about altcoins and Ethereum, which I think is very smart because at least he's open-minded. He see the writing on the wall. And those people are not stupid. They know this 42K could have been again, not to be bearish, but let's just call it a local temporary top, right? So they're like, oh shit, what's the playbook? Okay, Bitcoin first, cools off, alt season. So now he's going around looking. So if you've been into the space, if you leverage what's going on and you know where the money ultimately is going to go and you're willing to wait, so to speak, and have a long-term horizon, when I do a 15-year stake, I'm thinking in my head, that's an easy 3 to 4 bull and bear market, so to speak, in general. And I know that every sequence, just like in Bitcoin, the floor rises by a minimum of 10x. Guys, and I'm putting 6 figures of my own money, and I'm not done. And I'm going to keep, because I don't want to cut corner. That's why I say when guys talking nonsense in the trading chat, it's funny, I entertain them, but it's just like, strategy only makes sense depending on how much you're moving. If you're moving a big amount and you know you can push the price against you, by literally $10,000 can move 2%, 5% up and down, it makes no sense. Like the last couple of weeks, some people have been destroying their account, just over trading for no reason. It's like almost mini liquidation because you got to pay the fee, you got to pay the slippage, especially the slippage. I mean, forget the $15 whatever fee for the staking. If you're moving in and out 5,000-10,000 and you're losing 5-10%, and I'm talking that on the good day, because on the bad day you miss it and then it goes against you, right?
Exactly.
And then it's like you losing thousands of dollars. Forget the $15 trading swapping fee. You're losing a lot. And then when the price eventually leaves you behind, because again, total Hex stake is on a parabolic rise. Let me say it again. Total Hex stakes is on a parabolic rise. I told you, and I repeat again, quick math. Let's do this. Total T-share is deflationary, people. It is deflationary. It's already peaked. It's trending down. The simple fact that it's maintaining that 10,888,000 or roughly and not getting to 11 million, but maintaining that little dance is powerful because it means that to maintain that every time a Genesis T-share comes out, which is 60% more expensive now, just to maintain that, more Hex have to be staked. So the reason why we're not trending more deflationary in total T-share right now and staying steadily between 10,800,000 ish, it's because more non-Genesis T-shares are getting staked, and in order to do that, to compensate for the 60% rise, more Hex has to be staked. Just in a matter of 2 weeks, total hex stakes grew by over a billion hex. And yes, total stake percentage is going to go down, people. Why? Because there's the daily inflation. But that's what people don't understand. That's the trick. It looks like the staking amount is not going up, but that's because inflation is kicking in. But it's actually going up. It's going up because to maintain that total T-share until the next moon phase, and then people are going to unstake to try to cash out, and then we're going to go another big deflationary phase and probably go below 10 million. But just that alone, it's like jet fuel. People, jet fuel, more hex are being staked. Average stake length is rising. It's almost 5 now. Solid, consistent. Because every day that goes by is a day less, but we're maintaining and rising. That means that more and longer is being staked. Do you see what I mean? Because
totally.
What used to say 5-year average, but that was like over a year ago. And we're still maintaining that 5-year and rising. You see what I'm saying? And then, of course, my favorite chart after the T-shirt chart is the unstaking chart. And I don't know if you can pull it up here, but it looks it looks really, really nice because by March, worst case scenario, I mean, it's literally my favorite word, blue sky breakout. Now, of course, there's always going to be some whale out there that's going to be like, yo, heck with that. I'm a front run all you guys, get this. Because the whales do the math, guys. You know what I mean? Again, I'm a whale in training, but I do the math. I'm like, how much does it needs to come out so that if I buy a bunch and push the price against me, and then people trying to dump, it's not going to retrace as much because most of it is getting out. You see what I mean?
Oh, totally. I'm going to pull it up right now. I've got it on the other screen, but yeah, one thing I do just want to say is in agreement with you is. It's John Lavelle, CCFX Studios mentions a lot, like people right now, I mean, not only are you accumulating hex for the price of marbles, but what you're actually holding, like just because you were able to accumulate it for less expensive doesn't mean that the technology is not there. Like hex is that diamond. And as far as the actual future supply that we're going to look at in just a second, we're going to see in just a second that the actual amount that is being realized on market, like, it is less and less, and some of those numbers, when people are locking it for 5 years, Cuatro Cinco, that is something that no other crypto, no other thing has ever had. So without further ado, let me pull up the share screen right here.
Yeah,
so it's going to be on Hex.vision.
And I got an Easter egg to drop also, which is going to be amazing because one of my gifts. This is why my friends, since I was very young, they call me the Dream, right? Literally, I got this nickname for way back when, even when people were speaking French, is because I don't know how, but I'm really good at putting things in perspective and make people visualize. Maybe that's why I'm good at sales, because a picture worth 1,000 words, and that's really where it comes out. This is the monthly chart, correct?
Let's see. Yeah, it's the ending stakes per 4 weeks. Yep, per 4 weeks. Yep, per month.
4 weeks. So what's amazing about that is that, again, point of reference for some of you guys, maybe that are new here that don't know, but way back when, those bars were like minimum 5, 6, up to 8 billion in a month. Okay, again, I'm not counting near a big payday because now there's that big anomaly, of course, because it was just during that time, the heavy staking. But in general, and I look at that moving average, right? So we're no longer in those crazy, to me, 8 billion. It's about now lower than that. It's like 6 and trending down, and then again moving out. You see the blue line. Once that climax happens. And again, if you do a quick filtering over just the next 150 days, especially, you're going to see where that big bar monthly comes from. It's mainly February coming up soon. That's going to go away soon. And then mainly March and then mid-March. So it's like it's very, very, in the one say in 15 years. And then you get to see that when that phase goes on after that, it's pretty much blank. There's always going to be, I would say, at least 500 to 600 million hex on a rollover because of short-term staker people that just keep rolling over or whatever. But those big bars going to go away. And again, not to make anybody FOMO or anything, no financial advice, but people need to understand something. This could be the end. This could be the trap door. The whale could just literally, if I was a whale, right, and this is my billion hex, guess what? I'm scaring all of you guys. I'm buying the dip like I've been. And then when that hex basically end, It's going to end stake. I'm going to get my big payday. It's going to be massive. It's going to ratchet up the share price. And I'm just going to restake that thing, and I'm going to market buy. So people thinking that automatically end stake means it's going to dump. That makes no sense, especially when there's not enough liquidity. You get what I'm saying?
Totally.
It could be a defense mechanism, which is the reason why sometimes I wait until I make my big stake on the Dream account. I like to do it 2 million at a time. That's just my number.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to do 6 months spread out, 5, and just keep rolling like that. Why is that? Some of the reasoning behind that too is because during that 6 months, I'm purposely, it's my defense mechanism. I'm purposely expecting the T-share rate to go much, much higher, creating a new floor. I don't mind coming after and buying more expensive even 6 months. Why? Because I'm going to 5 that joint. I'm going to get 300 extra.
Exactly.
I know most people are not willing to do that. So just that alone, I'm going to win. I'm not going to lose. But when that share rate is being pushed up, it creates a floor. It creates a protection. So if the big guy or the early guy that thinks he's so smart is going to come dump on that head, guess what, boy? It only happens once. Once you're out, again, everybody think they're well until bigger well shows up. And then they'll be like, oh, you empty the clip. And then you remember CM way back when? A 4,000 of a cent? That literally he unstaked like close to 500 million hex or some crazy number like that. And then paid that stupid 170 something million in penalty. But anyway, it sounded like it was a great thing. Obviously, he got more coming in. But I read that he has less than what he could have had at current price. Oh, my God, that would have been even more insane. So those things are a good mechanism to flush out the people that are not going to be here for the long term. And then we don't mind buying back at higher T-share price because guess what? We already got the dip, which is right now. Because people are looking at the wrong chart, right? They're not looking at understanding that it's about mainly on the USD. And I always say, like right now, especially how stable we are, less than a penny is a steal. Because again, if Bitcoin goes into his little mini sideways correction, whatever, and Ethereum is finished doing what I think could be spectacular by the end of the month because, you know, CME and all that stuff. And nobody knows what's going to happen. But I can tell you one thing. My daily payout will still show up every day. See, that's what's amazing. That's where T-shares are so valuable. So long story short, the big well, when the end state happens, share rate gets pushed much higher. Then we buy the dip, which we already did. Then we box people out. And then they either dump and they get out. Or what's going to happen is they make the mistake of not staking, waiting, and then it becomes more expensive. And now they're getting less token in their ROI to then dump to us. Because we already know people, they don't stake longer. So they're going to miss out on the bonus. They don't stake big. They're going to miss out on that bonus. Because you know those people, they have a lot of hex, but they only stake like a tiny little bit and they think they're so smart, which I think is dumb. But again, I'm a logical person. So you're staking small, that's dumb. You're staking short, that's dumb because we literally have cool bonuses, names after those. I literally, every time I tweet, I write it as a hashtag LPP. I'm trying to put that in people's brain. But on top of that, that strategy has diminishing return and it's getting less and less and less. Number one, to your own self, because as you stake shorter, you're also responsible for the share rate going up.
Exactly.
But also, as the big unstaking from the whales are happening over time, it's ratcheting the share rate. We're trending very close to 17,000. We're already, 16,744, and it's going faster and faster. So, and then this is where your Genesis T-share becomes more and more valuable. Because now we're talking about a much higher rate. We're talking about like, okay, you stake short term, you get only 15%. Way back when, you could have get 30%. But because you stake shorter, right, now you're getting less. And then less.
One thing I want to comment on real quick is just something that, you've mentioned, and I've listened to you for many other people's streams and appreciate you coming on mine. But, one of the things that you've said a lot is just so many points that I agree with, but one thing that you always say is true wealth accumulation never ends. And then also, as far as going full-time crypto and all that BS is, when you're going full-time crypto, okay, well, now you're putting sell pressure on the market. You don't have, you don't have income coming in that you can continue buying. And so to your point also, the other point I want to make is, so many people, they look at this like their mind sees this and they think, oh, on 315 that it's just going to be some mega dump and whatnot. And to your point, what do we know from a logical basis? Okay, this stake right here and some of these other big ones too, they're going to ratchet up that actual cost of Hex per T-share. And the great thing about Hex is not only are you locking it and burning the Hex in replacement for T-shares, but that actual cost per T-share never goes down in Hex value. And when you say that, and I do the same thing too, the longer stakes earning up to 3 times the shares, when you're staking for Cuatro Cinco, what does it matter that that you bought a little bit expensive or a little bit less? Like, because when you're that much longer and you're earning that many shares, then you're playing a different game than the short-term traders.
Because the bonus shares always takes care of you. And again, remember, the rule number 1 is you're winning against the average. Every single day that goes by, everybody listening, clip this. Say Karim said this. Every day that goes by, this is making it every day that goes by, if you stake longer than the average length, you're making money at a higher clip than any other person that is not. Meaning the transfer of wealth is happening indirectly, where because you're willing to commit longer, the contract is transferring more of the inflation, readjusted to the number of T-share. Meaning if you and I had the same amount of money, we stake at the same time. When I stake more than the average, I always generate more. So every year that goes by over the next 15 years, that's why it's so powerful. That's what to me is a no-brainer, because not only I'm incurring no inflation, but I'm actually receiving the inflation, which means I am actually growing at a higher rate. And that's not, I'll be excluding all the penalties and all this other stuff. That's why it's the single most important thing. Once you understand that, you're already winning. Now, when you do the long-term strategy, again, I like the 6-month thing because I want to do 2 million at a time. I like it like that in a dream account, but also because it also has everything set up for future lifestyle. Like every 6 months, I got this, I got that figured out. I got the tax implications. So we're only talking about 2 taxable events, potentially once per year. I can do good accounting if need be, up to 6 months. So I can carry over to the following year for if something become a short-term capital gain versus a long-term capital gain. It's like there's so much science that goes into that. This is why some people that, oh, I don't know what to do. I said, just follow that. And then no overstaking. That's to me, no, guys, please don't do that. It's garbage. It's like overtrading. It makes no sense.
Oh, yeah.
Like you got like 100 stakes. You're stupid. You're giving away your wealth. You're giving away your wealth. Consolidate. Longer and bigger pays better. It's there for a reason. Okay.
I made that same mistake too, where it's like, oh, let's just do 10,000 hex stakes monthly and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, dude, to your point, and Richard said this before, but the game is all about the shares.
Exactly. And when you do like that, it takes away the frustration because it doesn't matter. Because when you combine all those bonuses, it pays for the fee. And especially longer as things gets better, we all know, nobody disagree. The fee problem, whatever, is going to fix itself out to a certain point where even, stakers coming up with a minimum, maximum fee, stuff like that. So again, there's going to be great new things that's going to come in that's going to make this thing scale, and that's going to just go away. But just by simply consolidating longer stakes, it's like on average, I mean, I don't know, for let's say, maybe not a dolphin, I want to be fair, but let's say for somebody that's a squid, okay? Somebody like my sister, right? You know what I mean? Like, 15 grand, whatever. It's like not only she's by herself, she's like, 555 and whatever, because again, she's growing the thing long term. But even if she were to do something short, it's like it will pay just like 2 days. 2 or 3 days for her of staking interest will basically pay the trading fee. You know what I mean? If you're doing like something around like, $10, $15 a day, if you have, a solid, $10,000-$15,000 stat, and then again you stake long, so you get the bonus and all this other stuff. You have that minimum stash where literally 2-3 days of staking pays for the fee for free. So if you stake for longer, 30 days or plus, it just pays for itself. So that way you're not stressed. You don't have to worry, oh my God, I got to unstake on this day. What if something happened? Like, no, like the 6-month strategy, what's cool about that is the days. I mean, even the 1 month strategies, that's fine, but don't overstake. You're giving away your profit. Don't do that. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's my very, very important advice I'm going to give people is that make sure you understand the value of that. And then which brings us to my Easter egg, which is great, is that, and if you can please go back to the chart, it's that
Yeah, let's do it.
people need to understand that, again, logic. I've said in every live stream, logic is so powerful. Logic, actually, I firmly believe this, even though I love math major, but logic supersedes math, meaning you can't do math right if you don't have proper logic, right? Because like I used to tell people, it was like a biblical saying is that, you know what I mean? It's okay to be like, sincere, passionate, but you could be sincerely wrong, meaning, we all know that, 2 + 2 = 4. But if the logic was, no, bro, it's not an addition, it's a multiplication, your result is wrong. Your math is correct, but your result is wrong because your logic is flawed. The same way, that's why you have people that could be good at math, but they struggle in physics, right? Because or advanced math, which is actually English, proofs and stuff. Like when you get serious, like, calculus 3 and above. It's not about, hey, just give me the formula, let's roll. No, that's easy. It's blank text, big paragraph. It's just English words. And you have to figure out what's going on, find out what the problem is, derive the logic, then derive the function, then solve. You see? Because some people, they're just like, yeah, feed me the equation and then boom, boom, boom. No, the logic is really what's important. And then if I'm a big whale, remember, I told you, I'm well in training, right? So I'm learning from the best. If I apply the same logic, which is the same thing a dolphin will think or a super shark, it's just, the whale just do it at a bigger scale because they care more about the price than anybody else. And they care even more about the long-term investor versus the short-term investor. So the big whale understand that the long-term guy, really long-term mind, he's only on the 555 club. So even if the share rate goes up, those people are not concerned. They locked in their share rate already, and they're here for the long run. So every time the share price goes up, those people are smiling. And I'm one of those people, and I'm smiling because it's like it takes away from those who potentially just want to roll over and dump on us. That's number one. Number two, this could be your last chance to get liquidity because people think that end staking automatically means dump. This could be just the biggest epic fake out in the history of fake outs. They're buying the dip while you're scared because you think there's a big dump coming in a couple of days. So you don't buy. They buy the dip. They suck it out of the system. And then they push the share price when the end staking happened. And then they pump the price. Let's not forget, like Richard said, share rate went up 500%, people. 500+%. When I say it went up 68% roughly, that's in hex, right? One T-share was 10,000. Now it's 16,744 or something like that and change. So that means that it went up 67%. That's in hex. But then hex itself went up to 300+%. So when you do the 354 and then the 67% roughly or 60+% of that, that's how you get the 500+ number. So what do you think happened when we cross again 17,000 to 18,000, but then, again, the floor goes up again another 10x. What's going to happen? It becomes more and more expensive, which makes the share rate more and more valuable. And then to make a simple math for people to rationalize, imagine hex at $1. Okay, I'm sure we all like that, right? Imagine hex at $1. It's just for simple math, quick math. And then the T-share is like a stock, right? A stock that only goes up. If hex is $1, and let's say we're 17,000 hex per T-share, just an example, that means that, a T-share is 17,000, right? You follow me, Bran? And then watch how every day, even if it goes up by, 5, 10, or 15, that's like a stock that goes up every day, worst case scenario, $10 a day. That's insane. Even Tesla doesn't do that. You know what I mean? So again, it's about... Oh, I lost you for a second. Bran? Ugh. No, internet. Bran, can you hear me? The chat, can you hear me? I lost you. Oh. Wait, Balliet, what happened? Bran, can you hear me? Ugh. Bran? I'm gonna try to refresh.
Not using the internet at the same time. Normally have a pretty good connection, so hope everyone's hope everyone's doing well. Okay, Karim's in the backstage. We're gonna wait for it to load just again. So yeah, I guess forewarning. I hope the stream doesn't randomly cut out again. I'm gonna wait until Karim's okay. Okay, guys, I'm on mobile right now. Haven't really done StreamYard mobile very much, so we're gonna try and see. Okay, it looks like Joe's on BLive. So sorry about that. My internet did cut off, and I'm looking right now, and the hardwire's not going there. So Faith Word Baptist, Old Baptist. Okay, so Joe might be going live instead. Great quality now. Great. It's on 4G right now. So let me send the invite link back to Karim real quick. Let me see if I can. 1 second here. Let's see if I can add invite guest. All right. Let me see if I can message Karim real quick. 1 second, y'all. Thank you for bearing with me, guys and gals. I normally stream at the girlfriend's place, right? So she's usually got a solid fiber connection up and down. So hopefully, yeah, Joe, if dude, feel free to set it up, dude. I'll let you take over, man. Please do. It's gonna be a lot harder on mobile, but we can still get Karim going. So yeah, for everyone, exactly. So I dropped out, the internet around, had a little bit of outage, but we're gonna see, to Karim's point, if we can get something to do with the girlfriend, right? It's always damn women, right? We're gonna see if Karim can hop on, and it's still waiting for a guest. So I guess yeah. Thank you for everyone that's tuned in for the 8 minutes, however long it's been, of the actual phone down. I just sent the invite to Karim, so let's see if he gets on. Otherwise, we'll wait a couple minutes. And yeah, Joe said he'll go live too. So let's do one last thing real quick here. All right, Karim, send it to you. Yeah, exactly. the whole chat's having a good old time there. And let me send it to Karim again real quick here. 1 second, y'all. Let's do this. Okay, so hopefully Karim can join. Yeah, looks like some sort of outage is going on with the internet. But yeah, looks like Brand just got laid. Shit, dude, I wish, man. I'm sweating up a goddamn storm, and I'm saying, was it one of my brothers, using too much Xbox and or watching too much porn or something? No, it wasn't that. It's just this internet, I guess. In Bellevue, they need to upgrade the wires, right? No, dude, I'm not staying at the girlfriend's tonight, but tomorrow the good stuff will happen. Yeah, Nate J.O. Well, yeah, the cool thing is about it, guys, is we've got a great community, and I appreciate everyone, staying around and even trying to wait here while the screen is black. So we're gonna see if Karim wants to join. Otherwise, yeah, Joe said he might be able to fire up the show, and I guess I could join his. That might be more reliable. But so yeah, great smile. Yeah, thanks, dude. I appreciate it. I'm pretty hard on myself sometimes, and normally the spotlight isn't focused on me, right? But when you're hosting a show, and when you got someone on like Karim, and it's going pretty well, then always something seems to go on. But I guess while we're at it, I do have the lights that I was telling you guys about. Let me see if I can show you guys. So these are the lights that I was kind of showing you about. When we actually turn off, since we're waiting for someone else to do something anyways, these are like magenta lights, kind of hex colored, kind of rave colored. So I tried to get some of those, and we're gonna get some of the other stuff going too. So it's maybe a little bit more cool of a backdrop when I'm at my place. But yeah, Kool-Aid approved. Hey, Kool-Aid. Yeah, man. Looking forward to hanging out sometime. You're a cool guy, and thanks for giving me the phone call. Yeah, something with that was going on. I feel for you, brother. Hey, as long as you guys are cool with it, I'm cool with it. I'm happy I was able to at least get back on mobile to kind of tell everybody what's going on. So we got the computer restarting, and right now we're just on 4G. Magenta all the way. Love it. Yeah, we got magenta right here too. And, Hex, right? This actually looks more magenta than it is. It's really like purple. I needed to do this direct to garment on vinyl and not direct to garment. So yeah, we're always rocking with you. Take your time. Well, appreciate you even being able to offer that. So let me type in the computer password without everybody seeing real quick here. It's like when you click the Hex buy button and the price, yeah, totally. And the price jumped up and you missed it. Nothing you can do but go back and hit it again. Well, to Karim and what I were saying, to get back on a Hex related topic while maybe the computer actually loads. So to keep the phone right there, Bran, please. Okay, I'll leave it right here. Yeah. So set it down. Okay. Yeah. Shit. We'll do it exactly like that. Thanks, Joe. Good advice. Okay. So thank you, everyone. So to Karim's point, we're still here. Awesome. Thank you, Crypto King. When it comes to Hex and when it comes to T-shares, so many people right now are they're lurking at the 315, right? The 33, and they're saying, "Oh my God, on March 15th, it's going to the world's going to end," and oh my God! But in reality, in reality, what do we know it's going to do for a fact? So we know that it's going to spike the share rate. We know that most people in Hex, they're taking their principal again, and even some of their interest, myself included, and restaking it, right? So what happens when the inflation in Hex is not only paid to stakers, which is delayed, but what happens when stakers that are receiving that inflation, they don't even realize the gain and they just keep staking? So that's another interesting thing that a lot of people don't really consider is so great for Hex. Is just the dynamics of Hex alone are nothing like we've ever seen. And when you're locking it up and burning the Hex and just getting shares instead, what it's doing is creating a pretty unique dichotomy. Crazy how good the phones work. Yeah, no, seriously. And it does, guys, it does look like the computer, hopefully didn't dox myself too much. The computer might be good. So let's see. Let's see if we can get it back on the computer again. Let me see if I can jump in my stream here. Enter broadcast studio. I might be able to end it on my phone, everyone, and be able to go back on the computer. It looks like, yeah, I don't care if I dox. All right, cool. Let's oh wait, Karim, let me see if I can get you back on the computer here. 1 second here. It looks like you're gonna be good if I do this. Okay,
Are we
Karim is
on?
back.
Awesome. I can hear you
Yes.
now. Epic.
Perfect.
Epic. I love that. Shout out to you. Perseverance. Even when the crazy people, not to name drop them, but when the internet service provider dropped the ball, man. Kudos for trying to come back on. So it's funny. I just posted something on the trading chat, to troll them a little bit in a good way. You know what I mean? Like an educator that's very, very dear to my heart, that I would say value investor, maybe swing trader at best, but really, really values to see, which I think, again, I'm not just a perma bull Hex, but Houston, we have liftoff, like I said. So shout out to anybody in the chat. If you can figure out what's the name of the indicator that I just posted on the trading chat. I kind of zoomed in so you can't see the name, but if you can figure out what it is, shout out to you. Put it in the chat. A little pop quiz. Bran, you can answer it too if you know it.
Oh, no worries. I'll let the crowd guess.
Okay, cool. This indicator is actually very, very underrated in the traditional trading scenes, again, because they don't understand that price moving doesn't always tell you the full story, and this one is really good, especially if you're thinking long term, looking at trend. Anyway, where were we?
Well, we were kind of talking about the, and sorry, I'm still having some audio issues. Anyways, we're talking about the T-shares, and we were talking about, March 15th, right, is the day everyone thinks the world's going to end. When in reality, to your point, you mentioned they could double down and stake and then market buy.
They have literally no clue, right? And this is why it's so powerful. And I think we were really, started to really heat up, which is good, is the market always like to do what the people least expect, right? And learning how to be a contrarian. But beyond all of that, because it's not like we're trying to play tricks or whatever, but again, the biggest perspective that I can give to the community, things that I really understand at a very high level, is logic, right? And then the math behind it to justify. So if I was, a big whale, again, on my way there, hopefully, is that to me, it's a no-brainer. Because first of all, a lot of them are the one that even have the tokens to begin with. Number two, just the simple fact that when they end stake, when that massive thing comes out, because remember, it's going to have its big payday volume added to that too. So when that massive thing comes out, the share rate is really going to be pushed out a lot. And some of the people that are still waiting, that haven't locked in yet, let me kind of show you a very contrarian view, which is actually what you need to learn how to do, is that people are saying, right, Brent, like you said, oh, March 15, end of the world. I'm flipping the script saying, no, March 15 might be the last big day for you to accumulate massive without crazy slippage, because you may get left behind. Because again, again, guys, common sense, but people also come about just logic. Just follow me here, right? This is literally what I do at work all the time. It's not convincing because I'm trying to force information down to. I'm just putting the perspective, and people just challenge using their brain. If you're a big whale, which have obviously a lot of token, you stake long for the most part, right? And again, no certainty or anything like that. But first of all, you're not panicking, because if you were, so to speak, you could have already unstake a long time ago, because the price, since that stake was made long time ago, some of them, even early, almost during the launch phase where it was like first month, if those people are really stressed up for money, they would have unstaked a long time ago. So that's number one. There is no panic here. Number two, which is equally as important, is that there's not that much liquidity, which is done on purpose, because, again, the whale is not trying to destroy his stack. So when the thing comes out, again, just probability, logic, common sense, the probability of them just dumping crazy on the price, right, is very, very low. And then number three, which I think related to that, because yes, one crazy whale can just be like, F this, I'm just going to dump the profit and then blah, blah, blah. But just remember, the share rate also readjusted, which means the big whale, and this is really the kicker, and I want everybody to really pay attention. Record this if you have to, so you can listen to it multiple times. When you get when you're trying to FUD your own self and you panic, just come listen to Karim's gospel and then the voice of reason, right? It's just logic, right? The big whale, they love their status. They love to stay well. So to speak, when the big unstaking comes down, because the share rate gets readjusted massively to account for that, plus the interest, again, super award-winning. I really hope this gets Nobel Prize. It has to, because that's the whole thing that makes this whole thing that I'm about to say logical and makes sense. If it wasn't for share rate doing that, what I'm about to say wouldn't make sense. So long story short, the big whale want to stay well. So when the thing comes out with the profit and everything, if he dumps on the price, first he gets murdered by slippage. So he can't really profit a lot of that. Shout out to CM out there. And then number two, what he sell, if he sells too much, he might no longer be able to be a whale anymore. I know it sounds crazy to people, but again, let me remind somebody here, my dream account has been rising in position without even doing anything, because some people are just falling off and I'm just rising. Or nobody's fault. They stake, the stake ends, they don't want to sell, they restake, but they're not getting the share rate they used to get. So every time somebody exits and restake, I'm gaining range. Even if it's something as simple as, hey, one is at 60%, one is at 50%. Then it's going to be 60% versus 40%. Then it's going to be 60% versus 30%. Because people forget, We may get to a point where, because remember, it's a dynamic system, we get another 100x, sick move. But then API just dropped to 20 or 15, hypothetically, for a little bit, which nobody's going to be complaining because, I mean, at that point, we're talking dollar hex. We're talking like what you're getting on a daily basis. I mean, Brand, this is the key. This is the part where literally, and this is where, again, psychology kicks in, mixed with the logic. When people start to get monthly interest rate with monthly interest reward, especially the OG, so to speak, that pays them every month more, keyword, more than their daily monthly expense, the gratitude that you get from that, it's so fucking insane. It's a joke. It becomes to a point where the big well never sell. They just stake with the stash, use the bonus, generate that nice, you know, hypothetically, let's say $4,000 or $5,000 a month of interest. Because remember, they're staking short, so they can't really get a lot of APY. But because the price 100x and they're not dumping on the price, which they don't need to, again, to kill themselves, they do their shorter stake. They get their $5,000 to $10,000 a month. They're happy as a camper. They travel the world. Who in this right mind will call the golden goose that keep laying eggs? Again, you see what I just did? It's just logic. It's not about all crazy convincing. Just use the brain, use the logic. Now, yes, you got some irrational people out there. Not everybody. But guess what? The big well is a well for a reason. And a lot of the time, they had the foresight and the logic to understand asymmetrical risk reward, which is why when they went heavy, right, it wasn't no brainer because the long-term value was there. I went heavy because, again, I did my research and I went straight off 555 more than some of the early OG, simply also because I knew I had to play catch up. So like I said before the stream got cut off, that the power of the 555 really over the average staker is you gaining, or if you're already ahead, you're separating yourself. And again, this is not like, oh, surprise, hiding in plain sight. That's the power of the HEX contract. The rules is already established. The incentives is there. It's just whether or not you decide to take it. You get what I'm saying? And believe in the long-term value. So high risk, so to speak, but much higher reward, which in an asymmetrical environment, long-term strategy and the trend is your friend. You're at the point where once your principal is safe and we're way past that already and the interest just keeps accruing, I mean, your only systemic risk is kind of like funny, but you know, if you die or if you do something stupid, you get hacked or you lose your stuff and whatever like that. So, but again, as long as you're disciplined, it's exciting. Your will to want to live gets higher. It's great. I'm in the best shape I ever been, you know, and I do like to exercise and play basketball, but it's just like, boom, I'm in a good mood. I'm not staying in charge. I'm productive at work. I make more money at work because I'm thinking T-shirts. I'm thinking Hex every 2 weeks. You know, Friday's payday. It's gonna be great. Boom, you stash away. Special price went down. Let's load up. Let's load up because you may not get that 1 cent anymore. This weekend we could be off. I mean, you know what I mean. If somebody in the chat in the chat figured out what that indicator that I just posted, it's very powerful, and that thing just flipped bullish. So again, going back to what we talked about too, macro environment, you know, Bitcoin doing its sideways dance, you know what I mean? We just hope it doesn't crash, but there's a probability it might go touch 27K. Again, that's just my humble opinion. But again, it might just do one of the same thing that he used to do, because I saw a fractal from one of the YouTubers that I follow for a while that did the same thing a previous bull market. It did a little desangle triangle, did the little knife down for a day, and then pumped right back up and popped out. So that might be one of those things. But all that to say, the trend is your friend. If Bitcoin does its sideways thing, Ethereum is going to do its thing. The upgrade's going to come. We just hope that the upgrade that comes with no hiccups. That's the only thing I wish them. And when that happened, floodgates. It goes back to the tweet that I posted before also a couple of days back when I talked about how the first target for Ethereum is 5.7% of a Bitcoin, and it's trending there right now. Even right now, market's correcting, it's gaining over Bitcoin. It's trending up. The ETH BTC pair is doing its thing. The Hex ETH is about to do its thing too. Again, following those ratios. And then also when people realize, which some of the deep people in the community, but as more people realize that Ethereum is a more valuable network, which is just true, higher transaction fee. I mean, just Uniswap by itself on any given day can do more trading fees than freaking the whole Bitcoin network. I mean, it's insane. It's insane. So all that adds to the value. And then when some of the fees gets burned, create that scarcity. Now Ethereum is becoming deflationary, which is going to add to the value. And if everybody's bags start to go up, trust me, they're not going to be complaining about the fee. You get what I'm saying? So it's all relative. And eventually the fee will also fix itself. So if you have a long-term horizon, you can factor it in safely, even if it takes 5 years for Ethereum to fully scale with a penny transaction, right? Hypothetically, who cares? You stake for 15 years. You see what I mean? So all those things combined, just using logic, reasoning, long-term environment, understanding what's about to happen, it's a very, very important. Make sense?
Oh, it totally does. And you know, one thing that you mentioned is, you know, the fees and things like that. You know, Richard's mentioned too, like Ethereum is Bitcoin's second layer, like this Lightning Network bullshit. Come on, get out of here. But to your point, things like Uniswap, they are, I think they actually surpassed, or they got really close to Coinbase. They're like daily trading.
They already surpassed Coinbase by far. And then the cool thing about Uniswap is, again, this is my prediction. You know, record this. Uniswap to me is going at this rate is going to be the biggest liquidity provider for DeFi liquidity system in the whole world. It's very, very close to it right now. His only competitor is the Ethereum blockchain itself, literally. And it's growing at such a rapid pace. People don't realize. We're talking billions. Like last year, June, July, there was nothing. Like 10 million. And then it goes to like multi-billion. And that trend is going to continue. And this is the reason why, once again, I don't waste my time. Again, that's just me for long term to buy Bitcoin. Because like you said, if is the layer 2, the Bitcoin that you're chasing will come to you. Stop chasing. It's like with the ladies. Stop chasing. The more you chase, the more they run away. Like, you know what I mean? The OGs are doing to the Wall Street guy the same thing that they learned themselves way back when, early cycles. The same way, you know, it's a little side topic, but it's perfect. Look at what happened with GameStop, right? People thought it was wrong because the retail guy that used to be disrespected all the time, now with all this money printing and learning from watching videos and tradings, they start to have some buying power. They start to have some money. So they can literally just raid. This is what happened in the game. So they raided the big institution because of all the shorting thing, and then they squeeze them out. And then they make crazy amount of money. So those things are going to start to happen. The little guy is becoming the big guy because he started to, when you've been burned so many times, so to speak, you start to learn the game, start to learn what's happening. The same way I was saying earlier, the Raul Paul start to finally understand about DeFi, this and that, because when they come in, they're naturally maximalist. The same way in the very beginning, we were too, but those who apply logic, they can pivot quick. You know what I mean? I remember when I first got to crypto, yeah, Bitcoin, this and that, it makes sense to me. That's why I'm always give Bitcoin credit that it's due, because it's what got me into the space. Not because of the money making, but because being from a third country originally, I know the struggle of sending money, the Western Union, the garbage, the fees, the waiting time, all this other garbage. You can make it instantaneous. And although 10 minutes, but back in the day, 10 minutes is like super fast. Oh my God, wow. You know what I mean? So, and then less fee, blah, blah, blah. So to me, it was a no-brainer. And then you add the scarcity, store value, blah, 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 done. But then as you get in, which is cool, and then you keep your open-minded, you learn about it, like, whoa, what's up with this? That's next level. That's more exciting. And then you move on like that. So I think that's the same cycle is going to happen with the Wall Street guy. They're also human beings. Okay? Even if they're super smart, they're going to make some money. It's going to start to sideways. And then they're going to start hearing about those other 50x, 100x move. The greed's going to kick in. You get what I'm saying? So whether they're smart about it and know ahead of time, or if it takes some time, it's inevitably going to go there. The same way Raul Paul always says, because he's a big investor, no big investor only invests in what? They have too much money on the management. And remember what people got to remember what their game is. They don't care about price going up. Let me say it again. They don't really care about price going up on one specific thing. What they care about is how much money they can put on the management, because that's how they can charge their fee. Make sense? So the more thing, the more, that's why they brag about this BS about, oh, you got to diversify. Well, you know, shout out to Ray Dalio, but still, like, no, because that's also how they make more money. Because Andrew Carnegie also said it best, arguably the richest man recorded on planet Earth, readjusted to inflation. He said, one of my favorite quote, sometimes you do put all your eggs in one basket. The difference is you watch the basket, right? Look at Hex for a reason. I invested 100 grand plus 6 figures in right away. Like somebody gonna say, Karim, that's crazy, man. Why'd you do that for? Why don't you just put, 50 grand here, 30 grand here? The typical BS you hear, right? This coin and that coin and this and that. But if you really, really spend the time doing the research, because to me, again, that's just my humble opinion, that's more lazy investing than anything else. Because you're not willing to spend the time to really, really do the research. So you're playing the probability game, which is actually very dangerous, because guess what? It sounds good, but it's a logical fallacy, because when the market correct hard, right? When the market correct right, all those things goes to shit. And then the worst part is, this is one of the things I always tell people, if you don't fully understand why something is going up, you will never understand why it's going down. And in both cases, you will always lose money. Meaning, number one, as it goes up, you sell too early, and then you chase the pump, and then you get wrecked on the retest, and then it leaves you behind again. Or when it goes down, you panic sell when you didn't realize how much of a gem that he has. But both cases, it's lack of knowledge, lack of understanding that made you panic. You get what I'm saying? Once you understand Hex, when you get what I used to call people level 3 understanding, people from previous live streams should have known this, right? What are those? Just recap. First, you listen. Second, you understand. Third, you internalize. When you can reach level 3 understanding of certain things, Hex included, spending the time, the effort, the 10,000 hour rule, really researching things, and the light bulb really kicks in, diversification becomes a waste of time. It becomes a waste of time because you have such a deeper understanding of what's about to happen that you know that your money is better invested there. Again, I wasn't here, so to speak, from the beginning. Plus what he did over 50 plus Hex, but my stash already did, more than 5 plus X, and that's adjusted to now with the dip, because at some point it just one account. The dream account was like 7 figures. It was just stupid. It was just like, oh yeah, whatever. So, but the key is why is this return so powerful? Is actually because I put all the eggs in the one basket. I watched the basket and I went all in. I didn't trade. I didn't, you know what? Let me cut over here and cut over. No, that's a weak move. That means you didn't do your research. That means you're scared. That means you're trying to play this diversification, and then you're chasing the rabbit, which some of them end up being promise coins, scam coin, this and that. And then you're like, oh, but don't worry, man. I only put 10 grand over there and 20 grand over there. But the main thing is, dude, that's still 30 grand that you lost, okay? Chat, listen to this. It's called opportunity cost. Not only the 20, 30K you would have lost, but you lost the 5X gains that 30K would have made have you had kept it with the main stash, which, by the way, did a 6X. Do you get what I'm saying? Totally. That's the difference between making 6X on 50 grand versus 6X on the whole stash, 6-figure plus. Because at that point, you're not stressed anymore. Yeah. You know what I mean? It multiply, big payday bonus kicked in. So I got another full stash. Yes, I can't touch it. Yes, but I got another full stash, and the daily payout is on its way to be possibly, and this is my first target. I'm going to make it over $1,000 a day. And then after that, within 5 years, we're gonna get it to 10K. And then it's gonna be stupid. We're gonna be buying that golden yacht. We got those videos, man. 15 years from now, we're gonna be like, you remember when we were talking shit? We're like, yeah, we're here. And then we're gonna tell them, we're gonna remind them how we bought the yacht.
It's just like you talk about. I mean, when one person's selling, at least in Hex, we've seen another person accumulating, and that hand that's maybe more weak, or maybe the 200X was good enough for them. They're generally selling into stronger hands that are locking up the Hex, and are, people like yourself that are, aspiring wells and things like this. They're not going to get that Hex back. You're not going to sell the Hex for the price that they sold it to you,
Absolutely. And there's two school of thoughts there, which I think is great. This is the reason why I love people like David Feeder, and then his video is very emotional. I shed a couple of tears, and I was just so happy. I felt like a proud human being. Like, as again, I like to call myself a spiritual being, but because it was just so good to see that, what, again, I said that before. Hey, I have this money I invested. I don't need it right now. Thank God, because I'm doing other things, which is great. But while that money is sitting there, right, the value transfer, the virtual transfer of wealth allows somebody else to pay off his debt to do X, Y, and Z. So I totally understand and expect, because it's a psychology of market, that some people that was super early or whatever got to a certain point where they can get rid of some debts that's been lingering them for a while. That's a good move. That's very smart. So selling for that is actually good, because you're trying to deleverage to be good so you can let the rest ride, which is fine. The same way, right? I got to make sure my bills are paid. I got to make sure my car is paid. I got to make sure all this other stuff is kicking and rolling, so I can just say, hey, Brand, look, I put 6-figure over there. Ha, ha, ha. No, it's because I've deleveraged some other stuff. If you watch my probably you did, but people in the chat, if you watch my stream with Joe Exotic, which I think was great, I went more into the personal stuff. Like, again, my story is crazy. Like, again, I've seen it all, man. I've seen poverty. I've seen living in a place where your gas gets shut off, your electric's about to get shut off. You're drinking water, eating chips. It was just crazy. But I did what I got to do. But the lesson that I learned from that, I think this is really what I grew up as a man, in terms of like, okay, it's you now. No backdrop. It is what it is. There's nobody to blame. Don't be a victim. Daddy did the best he could. You got here. Now what? Figure it out. And at that point, because you grow out of that shell, you evolve. You literally become that, that bird that's about to get up. But also the breath of fresh air that you get, the freedom that you get from that scary moment, is that now you become master of your own destiny. Now I told my dad, you know what? We're not going to do this anymore. I take full control, respectfully. But he understood, because I was like, we tried it. We did the school thing. It's not working. I'm going to end up on the street, because bill needs to pay. We're not in Africa. And here you don't pay, they kick you out. Like in luxury apartment complex where I live, like by the first week of the month, if you're not paying the rent, they're going to start sending you a notice like, okay, by the 15th, we're going to start eviction paperwork. They don't mess around. It's like high-end stuff, heavy credit check. They're just like, because again, they have a business to run. Oh yeah. Everything is great. Dude, if you ever come visit, you're welcome, man. It's cool, it's chill. We got everything. We got pool, jacuzzi, indoor basketball. I mean, it's snowing right now, but we can just stay inside and just have fun. So too much is given, too much is tested. Those are one of those things and those understanding that really, really separates. So I had to learn how to do it step by steps. You get ahead, right? The Tesla, oh yeah, people, this and that. Yeah, my car is 130 grand. But guess what? I saved for 3 years before I bought this car. See, that's the story most people don't tell you about. Yeah. You say, oh yeah, this and that. No. That was my dream car, custom built. But that motivated me to make 5 times more money than what that car that I paid for, because I was inspired. If you don't have dreams, then you don't have a reason to get up every day. Then what? People say, oh, Karim, that's materialistic. No, they don't get it. They're missing the point. This is what motivates, this is what pushes you. Materialistic is the people that only have that only have the material. They don't have an attitude of gratitude. They don't understand how to delay gratification, because they're so materialistic that they want the thing now. And they're ready to sacrifice everything else, whatever money they have, sometimes friendship, people, whatever, just to get to their goal, right? To me, it was just more like an inspired. I was like, wow, it'd be nice if one day, because one of my boss way back then, he had one. It was so great. He took me on a test drive, and I was like, dude, blown away. That's another small thing Tesla does. You know what I mean? Free test drive. You come in, just put your drive, because the car is so great. The product's so great. When you do that 0 to 60, you're hooked. But then you leave with inspiration, dreams. See how you get excited? Because that's what motivates. It's for your soul. It gives you a purpose, reason to push. Then I have my little dream vision board. I'm out there, boom, 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 doing my thing, selling, making all this money. But I'm like, nah, I need more, because this is not going to get me to my goal. I need to be able to buy the car. And then when I got the money, I was like, okay, cool. But you get the car, and now what? And then you leave on the street, leave in the car? No, you got to make sure it's sustainable. So there's nothing more sad and funny. People will make fun of you to get a car and then you have to return it 6 months later because you can't make the payments anymore. That would be insane, right? So I didn't want to pay the whole thing because I think it would be a waste of 130 grand. But I wanted to make enough, put in enough so that the monthly payment is manageable and I don't pay crazy rent. So what I do, again, I set up a plan. I save for 3 years, right? Still drive with my older car, which was still nice, you know, Mazda RX-8, you know, rotary engine, shifting, you know what I mean? That's me. I'm out there. Don't mess with me. I'm on the road. It was just fun. And then by the time I was ready, which was perfect timing because my car broke down again, it's funny, and they were asking me for like $8,000 for a transmission. And I was like, okay, I'm done. Because it was also due to necessity, right? Because I was a consultant. I got to have a car. I got to drive around, like, you know, before COVID, of course. But it's like you keep, you know, those mechanical cars, you keep feeding to it. Like, oh, like besides the regular maintenance, you know, set a tire, whatever. You drive a sports car, it's expected. But it's like oil change every month for the RX-8. Then I had to be a new transmission. And then something happened to the engine and this and that. And just like you keep feeding money into it to the point where, because I bought it used, you know, certified pre-owned, but by the time I put money in to fix it, it's like I'm buying the car all over again. And I'm like, that's a very scary spiral. You know how it is. They make more money on the service department than the actual car. And I was like, perfect time. I was like, nah, I'm not going to fix it. Thank God he got some type of like total loss because he was parked and some idiot just come and ram into it. And thank God it was in front of my brother's house when I was visiting and there's a camera there. So he just caught all that. So it was like, they didn't know anything about the transmission issue, but that was oh my God, free money. So that was great. But yeah, so fast forward, I buy the car, custom design. It takes 3 months to get the delivery. I'm very inspired and all that stuff. But again, I structured it perfectly all the way also to get a great credit score because I wanted to get a great rate. Then I put like 70 grand down and then I financed the rest. I basically like less than 3%. Again, because I had great credit. So all these things, and I did it only for a 3 year. You see? So a lot of money up front, make sure you got good credits, you get the lowest interest rate. And although they were trying to tell me, oh, do a 5 years, 6, now you can do 7-year loan on the car, which is insane. But again, if you do the math and the law, you're like, fuck no, I'm not paying that much interest. So I said, no, 3 years. And then better yet, I make double payment. So because my payment's like $1,100 a month, and then sometimes I make double payment just to accelerate. So long story short, car is almost paid off. But again, the structure wise, you set up a plan, you execute, you raise the capital so that it doesn't mess up with your lifestyle. Because you have 1-2 step forward and then 5 step backwards, because that just kills your move. And then you get sad. And then what's sad and dangerous is you start to get negative. You start, oh, it doesn't work. Oh, man, it's too hard. Oh, it's this and that. You start to give up. Or worse, keyword, worse, you start to lower the dream. Oh, my God. This is the most dangerous, contaminating things you can do for your thoughts. Very important. Ever, anybody listen to me in the chat right now, do not ever, ever, ever lower your dreams, okay? If you ever want to do anything related to also, sales commission or never lower the dream. Always rise to the expectation. Because when you lower the dream, what's so dangerous about that is that you just automatically, you don't realize you just lost your purpose. You just lost your fire, your go-getterness. It's like saying when I first started, with the car, all my friends, because we started like that, it was a safe bet. We're just going to get Model 3. We'll put the deposit, easy, whatever. But then as the day goes by, I'm not that motivated. I see my friend, I see my boss, I see the car. And every time I see the Model S, I get very excited. And I see the Model 3, I'm okay with it. But it's like, it's not deep down. And I had to do full searching, right? That honesty. And again, that's just for me. It's that one-on-one. I'll never forget. I was in my room, the dark, just sitting, looking at my vision board. I said, Karim, tell yourself the truth. What do you want? What do you really want? And I said, nah, man. I was talking to myself. Self-talk is important. And I said, nah, I want a Model S, man. That's what I want, man. But it's too expensive, you see. And then that's when I caught myself. I say, Karim, switch the mindset. Like I said on Joe Exotic stream, it's not, I can't. It's how can I? So because I had an honest conversation with myself, which took many days, because I had to admit, because back then I'm only making like, well, no offense, I'm only making like 60 to 80 grand a year. I mean, shit, if you live in the United States, you know this, after tax, and by the way, single, no kids, but still, where I live in Massachusetts, cost of living, dude, you'll be lucky if you have 5 grand left after the year is gone. Because you got your bills, you got anyway to the house, you know, the car, the this, the that, the little hangout here and there. Maybe you get one travel a year. But then it's like, you'd be lucky if you can put away 5-10 grand, you know, for long-term savings or investment somewhere else. So I had to have that realization. That's why it was so hard, because the automatic, because my brain works so fast. It's crazy. My brain does math. It's insane. It's like speed of light. The moment I admit that to myself, it's like, Karim, your bullshit 80 grand is not going to cut it. You're not going to make the cut. And it's going to be tough, because I was already working my ass off. But that was the beautiful thing that happens to me, because I had that realization, that honesty talk. And that's when I realized that, bitch, you got to step up your game. You thought you were making money. Yeah, you used to be poor. I get it. 80 grand is a lot of money. You used to be poor. But now you got to step up your game. Because if you want that Tesla, which is the honesty you said, you're going to have to step up. So that's why it's like you're calling yourself out. But this is some of the best thing that can happen to you, because had I have not done that, had I had lowered the dream, oh my goodness. Number one, you would have probably never met me, because I don't know extra money to invest. Number two, I'll probably give up on a lot of other stuff. Number three, I wouldn't have hit my personal record that I've done in sales and this, that, because everything is connected. The moment I had that realization, everything changed. It's like the first time I made 6-figure and I realized, bro, 6-figure is not money. Because it's all cool until you make the 6-figure and you realize after tax it's garbage. And I don't care where you live, honestly. Even if you're in Thailand, I mean, to some extent, if you're somebody like me that has attitude of gratitude, that have some loved ones, whether it's family, friends, or whatever. And you know how it is. When you make the money, people seems to go where the money goes. So they're going to ask you and this and that. By the time you break things down, and they say you have kids and whatever, you realize, nah, you're not there. That's why households can barely make it, because it's two, right? Husband, wife. If one is making 50, 60, you know, which is, by the way, is average. Middle class America makes about 50 grand, right? So let's say 2 households, it's like, you know what I mean? Now you get the 100 grand. The reason why, you know, the African, the Asian, or some people in South America, let's say the immigrants, for the most part, like in area like Boston or whatever, the reason why they do slightly more, a little bit better, is because we have had that realization early on. We live a lot with family. We could be like, I remember back in the day, you know, 2-bedroom apartment, and there were like 4 or 5 of us living there. You know what I mean? But guess what? We can combine all of our work money and then make bigger things. So unless you consolidate, and again, me, single, no kids, by myself, crazy money. And also you get taxed at a higher rate because you have less dependents. So that's why having the car was great, because as a consultant, I can do a lot of tax games with that and the mileage deduction, which helps me make Uncle Sam takes less of my money. So back to the story, there was a painful hour conversation, but I had that realization. And then this is when my brain just went to the next level, because it went from, oh man, I can't. And I say, hey, Karim, switch the mindset. That's not who you are. I start thinking, how can I? First realization, okay, 80 grand is garbage. You need to be 6-figure plus. Second realization is like, where do I optimize, right? How many sales do I need to do? I start to reverse engineer everything. Okay, this is the commission I need to make. This is how many guys I need to sell. This is how many appointments I need to run. This is how many opportunity I need to have. This is how many phone calls I need to have. I start to reverse engineer based on my ratio, what I usually do, because then you realize that, oh, I work a lot. You know those people that say that I work a lot. Oh, I'm busy. But no offense, who cares? What do you mean busy? It's not about being busy. It's about being productive.
Right.
I can challenge a lot of people, most people, that what I do, productivity, I work for like an hour or 2 is the equivalent a normal person do for like 5 hours or probably the whole day. Because you could be busy running around like a chicken getting your head cut off, but that doesn't mean you're productive. That doesn't mean you're moving the needle, right? Totally. Because at the end of the day, right, we either get better or we're getting worse. You got to have that daily accountability. Write it down. You know what I mean? Did you got better today or did you got worse? And if you got either way, whatever the answer is, you got to be able to answer why. I got better today. Example, live right now. you know, you asked for 8 o'clock. Why I say 8 o'clock? Because I was working until that point, right? So it was a great day. Why is that? Because I closed 2 big business today. It's like $7,000 worth of business. You know, it might, because I do solar, it might take a few months before it gets installed. But today was a solid day because one was a referral. The other one was a follow-up that I've been chasing for a while because, again, sometimes it takes a little bit of time. But the follow-up came through. Things worked out, moved the needle, set up 5 more appointments. I had like my typical, 20 to 30 phone call, productive calls, right? I went to do my groceries at Trader Joe. You see, little things like that. You got to gamify everything, right? Productivity, right? I got to be productive. There's a crazy storm and shit like that happened yesterday, and they might continue like, hey, my fridge is empty. Like, no, you know what I mean? I want to get my food, get things because I work from home now for the most part due to COVID and stuff, and I do drive here. So all of that was productive. You know, I paid some bills, moved some stuff around, and then I was preparing to be for this call today. So you see, today is a successful, productive day. You understand? So those are the things that you get to quantify. Because the moment you don't do that, you don't become productive. You become like you're busy, but you're not. And you think you're lying to yourself, but your brain and your body will check you out. This is when you become like, oh, I'm bored. That's a sign. Oh, I have low energy. Oh, I'm not motivated. Those are the signs that you're not being productive. This is your brain trying to tell you, bro, we're just wasting potentials right now. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, I'm so high on life that I barely sleep 5 hours a day. And I get up and I'm like, yo, ready to go. Because there's so much to do. And I make sure to be as much productive as I can. So at the end of the day, I feel good about myself because of the productivity level that I have. And by the way, sometimes it's less about the deals close. It's more about, oh, I had this book because I love Audible because I'm always on the go. I got my headset here that I always, wireless, wherever I go, I always get with me. So unless I'm in the car, because sometimes when I do the video, I jam in the car, whatever, just to distract myself when I'm about to go out somewhere, go to charge. But most of the time when I'm in my car, it's audiobook. I'm always on Audible podcasts or YouTube or just catching up. Because that's another great way to be productive. When I'm at the gym, when I'm playing basketball, I have my headset with me. I'm literally shooting hoops, having my workout running, but I'm listening to Audible. I'm listening to a podcast. I'm listening to a YouTube video. Sometimes I catch some live streams too, because this is how you can find times within the day. People say, oh my God, this stream, this thing, this video is 30 minutes. This one is an hour. I can't watch it all because they don't understand those little life hacks. It's about what else can you do while being productive. Heck, Brent, sometimes when I'm eating, I got my headphones on. I'm listening to something. Do you get what I'm saying?
When I'm in the shower, dude, these headphones, I got like 5 pairs of these headphones. They're waterproof. Shit, dude. Richard's in one ear, and yeah, dude.
There you go. See, that's next level right there. So you see, and those are the things that get it going, because that's how I can make 24 hours look like it's a week compared to a normal person that's actually wasting a lot of time. But the worst part is, number one, he was never educated about those techniques that I'm talking about, and let alone the worst part is he never tried to inquire about how to become better. You see, so to bring it back to show everybody the linear progression, the chronological explanation here is that once I had that honest conversation with myself, raising my own standard, I started really asking myself a lot of how can I, and I started breaking down all the reverse engineer. When I saw the truth, I'm like, wow, once again, how can I make this work? Because I need this many hours to make all those phone calls and this and that. So I started really timing everything. Best time to call people, right? Again, if you're in sales, for example, best time to call productive people is actually between 7 a.m. that early, I kid you not, 7 to 9, because even those who work from home, they still have their routine they have to go to. So you want to talk to customers, 7 to 9, usually 12 to 1, the hour lunch, or 5 to 7, or on a Friday, 4 to 4:30, because people are always, Friday is a dangerous day because people want to party, hang out, whatever, because they have 2 days to recover or whatever, or Sunday morning right around noontime. So it's not too early, so you're not being disrespectful. So you call around. So little tricks like that, because of all the people that I've talked to in my career and the thousands of customers that I've helped throughout all the different products that I've sold, those are the things that I was able to love it, because the goal was I had to optimize. I can't just take no for an answer. I can't just say, oh, the customer didn't pick up. Well, duh, what time did you call him, right? Call at the wrong time, they don't call you. Oh, they don't want the product. How do you know? You didn't talk to the guy, right? So stop playing the blaming game. If there's somebody to blame, it's you, period, full stop. Because somebody elsewhere is doing it. Somebody elsewhere is closing those deals. Somebody elsewhere is making that $200,000-$300,000 a year. Why can't it be you? Right? And then again, my favorite word, how can I be that person so I can make the money I need to make, pay my bills, leverage my lifestyle, and then buy my dream car? Because the dream is so big, because the dream is so powerful, the sleepless nights don't matter. The working too hard to personal development, all this thing doesn't matter. It becomes a fuel because the reason is so strong. See that I'm getting excited. The reason is powerful that everything else is meaningless. Everything else becomes actually jet fuel. Oh, that's it? That's all I got to sacrifice? Boom. But the moment you lower the goal, the moment you lower the dream compared to your own expectation, because you can BS everybody else and tell, yeah, I wanted this, but you cannot BS yourself. And that's the most dangerous thing you can do, because now you start to cut corner. Now you start to have low faith. Now you start to literally self-sabotaging yourself. That's what the word is. And then you're trying to make sense of something that doesn't make sense. Because to you, that's really what you wanted is over here. But instead of bringing the commitment to match the goal, you're trying to lower the dream. And the sad part is when you match that, you're still unhappy, right? How many public faces that we have seen interviews talking about that, and there are people that set a low goal and sometimes even achieve it, and then they become sad, they become depressed, they become, again, 99.9% of the time, you will get in trouble. Why? Because you have too much free time.
Yeah,
you get in trouble. One of the safest things is stay busy, productive, not doing garbage stuff. You know what I mean? And if you're still like low energy by the end or sometime of the night, if you're lucky like me, you have a gym nearby or in your complex, go run. Heck, no gym, dude, drop by the bed, start doing some push-ups, level up. Like, you know what I mean? That's going to get you tired, and then you go to bed. Don't get in trouble. Don't do anything stupid. Like, that's what I used to do when I was younger, you know what I mean? In my early 20s, making all this money, changing around. It's like, oh, let's go to the club, this and that. And I like to dance. I like to go to the club. But I had to find a system. Again, I created a reward system. All right, Karim, no more everyday clubbing. Nah, we're going to do it, okay, once a week. And if you have a killer week, maybe twice. Because I know how to motivate myself. And I always had a killer week because I was like, man, if I can close a couple more deals, I can allow myself to go out. Right? Because I go out, I got my budget. Okay, today is 200. That's it. And then I go out with my friends. So we just kind of mix it up together, which is very smart. Again, where I live, it's the smart move because you don't pay to get in, things like that. You get a table. We just situate it. Let's roll. And we got a drink, our entertainment, our space for the whole night. So again, it sounds like it's a waste of money. It's actually very smart because if you roll with 5 people, in Boston, some places, I mean, the nice place, the lounge and the whatever in the club, it's $30 just to get in. Sometimes $40. I mean, those are realities. So imagine, 5 people, $40 a pop, that's already $200. When you can just say, hey, let's just get a table. And by the way, you can be at the bar chilling, and then it's like $15 a drink. Or if you just, just doing random math, 5 people, you could easily be $500 spent, and then you barely have any space. People bump you around, this and that. You can't really, just get the table, get your personal space. The money is going to be spent anyway, but we're just doing it. But it's a more peace of mind. So you have to be able to compute like that, to see things before they happen, to understand some of the fallacies people have versus, the reality of the situation. So once I understood that, I applied that to my work. I applied that to my goal. And everywhere I went, it was a source of optimization. Because as you get good, you catch momentum. Now, things used to be like hard. Now you feel like you Goliath. You feel like, oh man, I solved this problem. I can solve that problem. I can do this. I can do that. And that's when everything started to explode. And I took that in all path of my life. I did that in my sales. I did that in my productivity as a human being, right? Personal development, which is really, really the key. Right, from reading everything that I can get my hands onto, and I find my best method of learning. See, everybody got to learn their best way to learn. Everybody has a kind of like a learning language. Like I would talk about love language, that's cute. There's also a learning language. Know thyself. one of the most powerful statement, right, on earth. Mine is audio, because I can go through a book way faster. You give me a book to read, if it's not science-based or whatever, I get disengaged. I can fall asleep. It's crazy. Unless, it's math or whatever, like, school-related back in the day or university, So it's like, the reading now. But you give it to me on audio, oh, dude, I can just stay static for 4 hours, quiet, just listen. I can even listen sometimes on 2x, just fast to grasp the content. Like, wow, it's powerful. And what's amazing about that too, I can pause, I can rewind, I can do chapter by chapter, because sometimes when I hear something really good, what I love to do, I like to pause to allow my brain to really oh, that was good. So I pause, digest. Like some of the live streams, even with Richard, obviously his live, I will go back. Sometimes when I'm bored, I rewatch a live stream that I already watched. It's insane. It's like, boom. And one of my favorite books in sales, the 10X rule, I probably listen to that audio 20 to 30 times. It's so good and bad in the way that I can almost rap the lyrics. That's how good it is, because I know what he said, what the analogy. I can see him on the live TV somewhere. He says something, I already know what he's going to say next, because you get to see the condensed, the preaching. But those are the powerful individuals because they're consistent. When I say I was on Joe Exotic stream, right? Be predictable. That's the next level. That's the holy grail. Because after everything I just said, you did this, you reach the level, you become a 1%er or whatever. But guess what? Now that you get there, it's about staying there, right? You're only at the top, but there's a reason why you can easily drop. Because now everybody start telling you what you want to hear. Everybody start telling you how great you are and this and that. You're top guy, this, that. Yeah, but guess what? It was due to hard work. The moment you start drinking that Kool-Aid, shout out to Kool-Aid out there, and then you think like, hey, this is it.
Yeah.
Life punch you in the face really hard and remind you, no. This is not how this works. The equation is you put something on the left, so you're gonna get something on the right. And then you can do addition, which is just you doing one time and become a one-hit wonder. You know those people that make six-figure once and then never make it again because they thought they already made it and they stop pushing hard and then they just get washed out, or they get one good single song and then they disappear. Yeah, those are the one-hit wonders. So you can put stuff on the left and addition, or you can put some on the left and do multiplication and be like, okay, yeah, that was 1 year. Who cares? How can I do it again and again and again? And better yet, I like incremental growth. It became a game, became a scoreboard. First time I made six-figure, it was literally on the dot. It was the best joke. It was 101, literally 101. But what it allowed me, it liberate my brain. I was in prison. I was in shackles. And I know some of people watching right now, they're in that prison. That prison is like, what do you mean, man? 6 figures is a lot of money. What are you talking about, bro? It's because you haven't made that. I'm sorry. Because once you do, which is great on the moment, but then you realize and you start looking at your purchasing power and you realize that, wait a minute, things didn't really change. Okay. Maybe you were able to buy a few more clothes here and there. Maybe you were able to take one extra trip. Maybe you're less in debt because you were able to pay on one of that big debt that was looming on you. But your lifestyle did not really change that much. And some people sadly needs to go through that realization, because I can tell you all along, but until you do it, until you experience this, you won't really know. You know what I'm saying? And then also the second epiphany was, oh, you're going to have to work way harder just to maintain.
Yeah.
Because, and this is the single powerful thing, the lesson in the 10X rule, which makes this book so great. And it's my number one favorite book to always rewatch and read and reread, to have that reminder every time I get complacent, is that it's 10 times the thoughts, 10 times the action, which is basically 100X, which is related to everything that I've said so far. People underestimate the amount of difficulty that's going to come your way, right? Just like we say in trading to some extent, right? Past performances doesn't guarantee future results. It's not because you made six-figure last year that you're going to make six-figure this year, even if you do exactly the same thing you did last year, because the difficulty change. And if you don't learn how to adapt, right, the only certainty of life is change, right? You heard that said many times. Those are the reasoning behind that. And those who don't try to optimize constantly, personally develop and rise, what happened is when the environment changed, perfect example, COVID-19 hits, right? the environment changed. And those who are not prepared, those who didn't have multiple arrows to their quiver, they got punched in the face. They got decimated. I know people, bless their heart, but even friends, they used to make great money. COVID hits, boom, disappeared. Some of them got let go, fired, because again, it's sales, productivity, man. If you don't hit production after a while, heck, you can't even pay your bills. So it's almost like you're firing yourself because it's commission-based. But those who understood that, okay, it's great, but tomorrow is not promised. Yeah, we make 6-figure this year, but next year it's not guaranteed. Those who understand that it's constantly growth, personal development, how can I reach more people? How can I get more referral, right? I learned about the 5-card referral system. Quick tip for everybody watching. That's a sales tip right there, live. 5-card referral system by J. Douglas Edward, old school grandfather of sales. It's the guy that taught Tony Robbins and directly taught also not Jim Rohn, but it's the same generation of Jim Rohn. But his name is escaping me. Very big guy for real estate. Oh, his name is gonna come back. But anyway, his name is J. Douglas Edwards. So old school. His audio was actually on tapes. That's how old it was. And then somebody was smart enough to put it on their Audible and selling it $1,000 a pop. But it's so valuable. Old school, right? 5-card referral system. Everybody that you sit down, that you talk to, after you close the deal, after you finish everything, the most easiest sale in the book is called the second sale. The easiest person to sell is the person you just sold. And then with the 5-card referral system, what you end up doing is, literally back in the day, index card. Right now, obviously, technology, you can use a spreadsheet. But literally, right after the deal is closed and the customer is hyped up, excited, everything's cool, moving to the process, they're going to get the product. They literally leverage that energy, that time to pull out the card, the index card, and be like, name 5 names of friends, family, neighbors, people that you believe that will enjoy the product the same way you just enjoy the product. So you're leveraging that high, you're leveraging that excitement live with the customer, and it's a soft close because you're not saying, hey, it's guaranteed. Just think who could potentially be interested that we could reach out to, we could share the love. And of course, you can throw a little kickback. Most companies have that now, refer program, you refer somebody to get something. So you can always talk about that. You weave about it throughout the consultation, reminding, dropping gems. One of the best things about our product is not only you get to qualify and save money on your electric bill, but you can refer your friends and family and they get to benefit as well. Everybody wins, money, you get a nice kickback. It's great. So you talk about it briefly, but at the end of the close, you focus on that. And you literally physically, if you're there, now it's virtual, with the customer, and then you stare them in the eyes, you give them the pen and like, hey, give me the names right now, live, name, phone number. And the best part is, as you focus on that customer mind is now shifted onto referring to friends and family to validate the sale that he already made. Because now he wants to look good. Because of course my friends want the product because I want the product. And what that does is shift away their mind away from the fact that you just sold them. So it's not about them anymore. It's not about the product you sold them. They're less likely to cancel because they're already thinking about referring their friends. And the moment they refer their friends, that deal you just sold is solidified. It's not likely to cancel. See what I just did? So that's the second sale. And that's why it's next level, because the real goal is to solidify and button up the sale you just made. But you potentially get, on average, you will get 2 referrals. Another biblical saying, ask and you shall receive. 90% of the time you don't get because you don't ask. Just like with the girls. She might say no, but what if you say yes? Right. You ask. Don't be weird about it. You know what I mean?
Well, to your point about like mental blockades, especially with like guys and girls, like they're always self-doubt in their head, or they don't think they can achieve something. To your point, instead of lowering your standard of what you think about yourself, I really appreciate that. Like, yeah, how can I get here? What more can I do? What am I doing right now that is wasting time, that I can be productive? Am I just being busy, or can I be productive,
Exactly. And one of the easiest way, I want to give more tips for people watching on the stream here. Like, how do I know if I'm busy, or I don't know if I'm productive? Again, you got to start from a place of honesty, which means that you have to really, if anything, after today, right? Find a time, a solid hour. Stop whatever else you're doing. See, that's the illusion of the busy. You're just jumping around, bouncing around, answering everybody's comments or this or that, and you get pulled left and right. You think all these followers great, but like, listen, when are you going to do you and your life? So away from all that, away from the electronic, just sit down with yourself and establish at least 2 to 3 goals, solely goals. I mean, that's what you should have even done on the 31st, but let's just say, we're still early enough in the year that you want to accomplish this year. And then once you get that thing set up, then you can start reverse engineering all the way on to what you got to do on the monthly in terms of targets, goals on the weekly and the daily, right? The winning. And again, it's facts over feelings. It's not emotion. It's not I think. No, what needs to happen in order for this? So you need to have that clarity of the goal that you really, really want, right? That honesty. Because once you know really what you want, your heart will get involved. Your excitement will rise. Have a dream and a goal so big that it excites you. Like just thinking about like, Brand, I'm going to make $10,000 a day in interest. How sick would that be? I mean, just thinking about it, I get excited. And I'm like, but at first like, man, how the hell are we going to do that, man? That's fucking massive. You know how many t-shirts are that? You see, but now my brain is going, how can I? Okay, boom. Okay, I'm at this. I need to get this. What if I do this much and I buy about this much every month? How do I got 15 years. I started the game. I set the perimeter. Now I got to fill up the blank, the Lego. And I don't care if I do it by year 5, by year 10, by year 15, but it's going to get to a point where it's going to generate that boom. And then, yes, if price appreciation kicks in, that's going to help me out. So my easy target is like, okay, how fast? How can I fastly go to $1,000 a day? Because once I get to that point and the price 10x, boom, that becomes 10,000. You see that? Because I'm not selling a single hex, which means my exit strategy price point is the future. Make sense? Yeah. So I literally have plan, established goals. I'm motivated. I'm already making more money ever since I got to Hex because I'm using those tools. I'm using I'm gamifying the whole process, which gives me extra layer of excitement, new purpose. I want to live longer, right? So I'm happier because I see this thing, that time is working for me and not the other way around. So I can chill out a little bit, not be drawn too much to random stuff that's not relevant. And also, I can build up for future and legacy and wealth that I can potentially leave behind because, again, ultimately, it's not about me. It's about the people that can benefit from what I can leave back as a legacy in building my wealth. So once I understand that, everything changed. And that's what you need to do. And that's what you need to understand why it's so valuable. And that's why you should never lower the goal, but rise to the expectation to match the goal. And always say, how can I? No, I can't, but how can I? And even if it's hard, you may not solve it first day, but you just keep coming back. You keep coming back. It's literally like building a muscle. This thing that you just said also, which is very important and powerful because it happens to everybody. We're all human. It used to happen to me, not so much now because I'm at a higher level. But as I get bigger goal, it will come back. So I have to fix it. Meaning the reason why the fear comes in ultimately is this. It is a lack of no. You get frustrated, you get insecure, you get less confident. How do you get so confident? I'm so confident because my knowing is at a higher level on the subject matter that I'm talking about. Therefore, the confidence naturally comes. This is, call it the divine help or whatever. But when you know something so well, and shout out to all the military people out there, they know this. Like it's like muscle memory. Like when you're so used to maneuver a certain type of gun, whatever, rifles, it's like clack, clack. You can do it with your eyes closed because your muscle memory is on point. If you're a bodybuilder, if you're a runner, like I can run my first 2 to 3 miles and I'm not even out of breath. You can't even hear me breathing. I'm just kind of internally breathing because I'm so used to it. My heart rate is at a certain speed. It doesn't matter because to me, it's the repetition, right? Which is the matter of all skills, get you better, get you more knowledgeable in the subject matter, therefore confident rise. You lack confidence, you get in fear, you get into a segment where, because you're on low vibration, therefore you get easily manipulated by other people, thoughts, ideas, whatever, or negativity especially, because you're on low vibration. The same way right now, even though we're virtually at a different place, you're feeling my energy right now. Everybody try to feel my energy because I'm vibrating at a higher level, right? And they get inspired because like, wow, how can I do that? Boom. But that's the trick. Now you're shifting your mindset too. Now you're like, okay, how can I? And then as you start doing the work, your confidence will also rise. And then some of the things that I'm saying, some of the things Richard's been saying, things going to start making more sense. Even if it's things you already heard, but you're going to be like, oh, man, I get it now. That's why it's so important to do X, Y, boom. That's when you know you're rising to the next level. Like I said, seek level 3 understanding, right? Because you heard it, you understand it, but have you internalized yet? It's like the joke when somebody say, Karim, what's the difference between a 10-year year and a 15-year stake? I'm like, dude, okay, you passed level 1, you heard it, you understand longer bit better, but you haven't really internalized what that means. And right. I even dare to say level 4, if I were to come up with a new one just like that for Hex, level 4 will be what I said, and you repeat back, which is true accumulation never ends. Because what the fuck am I going to do? Make all this money and go back to fiat and be devalued? It makes no sense. It's no logic. It's not even logical to me. When the gains are so high, I don't even bother selling, trading, dancing, whatever the hell that is. It's a waste of time. I'd rather be more productive, doing some other stuff. And every now and then, if I need to deploy capital, pay a bill, or invest somewhere or whatever, then yeah, I might sell a little bit just to transfer to that. But other than that, it will be literally a waste of time. The same way for the average but really good Hexican discipline that just want a good lifestyle, his level 3s, if I can get monthly stakes that can pay my bills on a monthly basis, I've already reached my nirvana. Again, that's why it's a personal inner work. What works for me doesn't say works for you. My goal is my goal. Your goal is your goal. The difference is, are you being honest with yourself? Are you being truthful with your goal? Because if you're not, because again, it's not about me. It's about you. Because if you're not, you're just BSing yourself. And God forbid, worst case scenario, you actually hit the goal and you're still dissatisfied. And then you get even more frustrated because you won't even understand why. And today, hopefully with this stream, you will get to understand why. I give you the insight on that powerful knowledge, which I have paid for, learned from other people, and my own internal self, because I've actually applied. You see, that's the difference with me. I never talk about things that I don't do myself. To me, that's disingenuous. That doesn't make sense. I need to fully understand, right? Just like in sales, we always say, the sales professional, not the crooks, not the weird people. You know what I mean? It is highly unethical for you to sell or recommend something you do not fully understand. So first, you got to make sure you're on that higher level. And that's the beauty of teaching, because it shows to yourself that you really, really got it. So you see what I'm doing here? I'm optimizing 2 things. I'm sharing the wealth. I'm sharing the knowledge with the audience, but I'm also positively reinforcing and repolishing my own knowledge, because by voicing it out loud, I really show to my own self that, okay, I really get it. I understand it. I'm building the muscle. I'm not letting the muscle atrophy, right? Those people that were bodybuilders, those people that were good looking, this, that, working out, 6-pack, and then guess what? 6 months went by, they lost their consistency, and then they got washed by the wayside. And you'd be like, what? You used to be how many pounds? Or you used to do what? What happened? And this is what the ultimate goal, which I've said on Joe Exotic stream also many times, is the ultimate level is the consistency. This is how the legacy building starts. And this is how true success lasts. True success isn't 1 year, 2 year, 3. I don't care how much money you made. You can be a billionaire. I kid you not, Brandon. You know this. And then you lose it all, or something bad happens and you disappear after 3 to 5 years. Dude, by then, or a year after that, 6, 7 years, people won't even know who you were. Because the world just moved on. I mean, I know it sounds crazy and brutal, but that's just life. To me, that's the fairness of life. You must fight every day for other people's attention, so to speak, and deserving of you be calling yourself great, so to speak. You have to be able to prove it to yourself day in, day out. That's why the greats, they never leave the field. They're always out there. They're always on the field. They're always preaching. They're always doing. They're always evolving. And they get older, right, so to speak, in age, but they look younger and younger, right? Because you're high on purpose. I mean, if you look at me right now, would you guess that I'm 30 and I'm about to be 31?
No, dude, no. Especially when you see your energy and everything else, it's like, yeah, man, it comes from a place of authenticity too. Like that's not fake, that's legit in your essence glowing,
Amen. Thanks.
Well, and to your point, I mean, we're gonna have to wrap it up soon, just because RT3 and whatnot are starting. But the last thing I'll say is, to your point, as far as like you know, being successful, or, you know, you mentioned six pack, or, you know, being on top, whatever that is to you.
Yep.
Well, yeah, what good is that if you're only on top for 1 minute? You know, you had the six pack, or you debate whatever your version of success is.
Absolutely.
If you only had it for one minute, you know, it's the consistency, to your point, that is that happiness. Because so many people, they try to reach for the six figures or whatever it is, and then they attain it, and it's not what they thought it was going to be. You know, it's just more and more and more. So if you can internally, like you said, then it's just going to be a lot more consistent, and your success is going to be a lot better.
Absolutely. And then a couple golden tips I want to leave people, you know, before we end the stream, because again, see, I came here also with a purpose, right? Productivity. I want to drop as many gems as I can, and also add value to the stream, because I genuinely appreciate you and the people from the community, or whoever that's watching the stream right now. Because the same way when Richard comes in, right, when he ran, he pours, right? He likes to give back and give a lot of knowledge, because again, it's the most respectful thing we can do for the people that spend the time to hop on the stream. And I take that very, very seriously. Again, having a target, going back to that productivity, not just wasting time. No, we don't just coming on live just to come on live to, see my pretty face. No, we're here to add value. Make sense? And that to me is very, very important. Having that intent, having that purpose is a very important. So when you're doing the dream chasing and the setting of the goals, which is a very, very important. There's a saying that I always say, which I've obviously learned from my previous mentor, which is great, is again, number one, you set the target as high as you can, right? 10 times the thoughts, which is a very important. So then you can supersede that with 10 times the action, because the real goal is that kind of saying, you know, shoot for the moon. See, I like to give analogy too for make people visualize. Shoot for the moon. If you miss, you end up in a star. Shoot for the sky, which you don't really know what it is, you're back to the ground, because gravity will pull you back. And this analogy is so powerful in this explanation, because you get to visualize. Because when you say shoot for the sky, if you really realize and internalize what that means, it means it's a freaking random freaking goal. Because what does that even mean? The sky is big. What part of the sky? Like which direction? Like it's so vague. You're bound to go back to the ground. If you say shoot for the moon or a certain star, whatever that is, bro, you have coordinate. You know where that is. Anywhere on Earth, you turn, you point, you see the moon. Oh, that way. You see that direction. And then the goal isn't to worry about, oh man, that sounds so crazy. How am I gonna? I'm never gonna. No. The goal is when you set that goal, your energy rise, your spirit rise. You feel excited, because what you're doing is you're filling up the tank. You're rising your spirits. You're giving purpose. This is why human beings are so powerful. We're the only being we can give ourselves purpose, literally, if we do it right, to self-motivate. This is where that energy comes. That's why I say I'm high on energy. You hear me say that a lot, because I set so many strong things that are so powerful that if I achieve that, it feels like, oh my God, in my lifestyle, the fact that I did that is amazing. I didn't even thought that I could do it. So you rise your energy, that is the goal. And then the excitement becomes the figuring out. Maybe it's because I'm an engineer or whatever, but we actually gamify and love that figuring out. We maintain the open-mindedness of it's going to be hard, but how can I, and then figure that becomes the game. So you're big on the goal, but you're also aggressively patient. That's the word that I use. Aggressive, because the how can I is daily, sometimes hourly, trying different things, moving things around, trial and error, not just sitting on your ass and, I'm going to try this week and that week. No. This week, we're going to start. If we do brainstorming, we're going to start and try 5-6 different things, because I need to quickly figure out what work, what don't work, because I'm trying to do process by elimination, right? 20 options, 20 potential ideas, shortly down to 5. Then from the 5, I do trial and error, because some could be good, some could be bad, but you don't really know until you actually try them out, because some logical fallacy can only be broken down only after it's being tried, because something can sound good until you actually do it practically and you realize it's not good, right?
All right, let's call it here, man. I know Discourse is on, and you and I are gonna have to do another stream, man. Let's make it happen on weekend day. I'll do it at my girlfriend, so I'm not
no worries.
internet dropouts, but But I want to be respectful to you know, RG3.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop on that too. And thanks for everybody on the stream. You know, we apologize for the intermediates we had, but hopefully you got some value, and we'll do that some other time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Karim. All right, everyone, we're going to go to a Discourse Syndicate. I don't see them on Twitch, so I can't read them there, but we're reading them on D-Live. So everyone, thank you so much. And all my links are man. Thank you, Karim.
Sounds good. Bye.